Hey, what's going on, everybody? Who be 186 back again with the Overrated Podcast, episode 101. I'm your co-host, Who be 186, and with me is, as always, is Stephen Smith. Oh, I don't know why I put your whole government name out there. Traditionalist 101. What's going
No,
on?
it's too late now. But yeah, Traditionalist 101 is here, and this is going to be a pretty interesting show. And my apologies, I wasn't really feeling that well yesterday, so we couldn't do a podcast yesterday. But at least we are able to do one today.
Yeah.
So what's been going on with you?
Nothing much. Just the usual, having to work and stuff like that. I did have. The thing is that yesterday I was contemplating if I had to cancel the podcast because I know I had to go see my dad. I ended up doing that today, so that's not a big deal. But then
Yeah.
I found out that you weren't feeling well, so I was planning on doing a video on my own, but I fell asleep. By the time I woke up, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. So it was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do a video at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I do have a video planned for I want to say Thursday. I want to say Thursday.
What's the view gonna be about?
It's actually going to be about our last topic, but it's a deeper interview. It's deeper video than that.
What was our last topic?
It's the FTC versus Microsoft.
Oh, okay. Well,
But
yeah,
it's
you
gonna be,
said
yeah,
it was gonna be deeper.
yeah,
Hmm,
yeah. It might be like an hour long conversation.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm going to do a video or a live stream. I don't know because I just did a in Gran Turismo they have these like hour races,
They have
and
hour races, a race that's a whole hour.
yeah,
Man,
yeah, and I've done several of these, and this is the first. There's one that I finally did where I went into first place. So I have a game. I want to use that gameplay for a video,
hmm
but I don't know. I don't know which type of video I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna do a traditional video or do kind of like a live stream.
Well, what's the dilemma with that? I mean, you've been doing a lot of live streams. What's the problem this time?
It really I have to do a live stream. I'll be able to do like better. The video will be better. Yeah, I think the video will be better. Because live stream, I'm just doing this shit off the top of my head. But
Hmm.
I I like the live stream because like I said, people can get involved. I can have conversation with people, but this is the type of video where I feel like I have to make it as good as possible because I got a lot of stuff to say about in that video.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but
Sounds
I do want to make the video sometime. I hopefully it'll be Thursday. If not Thursday, it will definitely be that week.
it'll definitely be this week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Definitely. But anyway, what about you? What's been going on with you?
Well, like I said, my birthday had passed.
Happy birthday,
This
by the way.
past yeah, appreciate that. This past Saturday, and I actually had a couple of nice gifts also. But first, I know this may not be a big deal to you, but man, I was really surprised. What they gave me. Hold on. So yeah, they gave me a. What, let me just share it only for the simple fact that this thing just looks amazing. I should have rotated it, but you guys will get the picture. But so they surprised me. The family, the folks surprised me with a Superman cake because I'm a big Superman fan. I buy his comics. I watch the animes. I've always liked him since I was a kid, and for them to surprise me with a Superman cake, like I never had, you know, an animated of any type of cake, my whole entire life, and for them to surprise me with this, I was, I'm just like, wow, all right, awesome, and even the consistency of it was so amazing that even the coloring, like it was um it was vanilla and red velvet,
Mm.
mixed together. And obviously, with the frosting and everything. And I know this thing looks kind of like a sheet, but it's actually an edible. Like you could actually eat this.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I just said to myself, wow, this is cool. So I took a picture of it. I put it on. I posted on Twitter, and man, it tastes real good. But man, I have so much. And big shout out to Soul, big shout out to Big James, who were there. Big shout out to my brother, my sister, parents. Who else was there? A godmom and her daughter. So yeah, I had a decent amount of people coming to celebrate my birthday with me, which was cool. I really appreciated how you could have people who you care about actually was willingly wanted to celebrate the birthday with you. So I thought that was awesome. I thought that was really awesome. And as far as the gifts, I might as well get out of here and show you what I actually had. Okay, so one of the gifts I had was, I had this cologne right here, and the packaging of this is phenomenal. I don't ever remember seeing. I don't know what this brand is, but I had cologne.
No,
It's
let
called
me see what this is.
Insurrection, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had that, and I also had a. Well, this wasn't necessarily a gift, but I pretty much had it around the same time when my birthday happened. They gave me I got a body I got a body camera
Mm-hmm.
right here, but this is really solely for work, for what I do on Saturday, going to the abortion clinic and things like that.
Yeah,
And speaking of
you need that after what happened that week that day.
that, yeah. After what happened that day, I said, I definitely need one of these.
All
and
right.
my boy
Okay.
John gave me one. So
Okay.
that's
Shout out to him. Okay. Let's get the comments out the way. Ryan Meadows. He said that he asked you a question. I'll let you read it.
all. Is gay Superman is it gay Superman or or original? No, it's the original Superman. Don't worry. Like if it was a gay Superman in that cake, I wouldn't celebrate. I would just throw it out. I would just throw it in the crowd. I'm not eating a gay Superman cake. Absolutely not.
All right.
Um, and he said, "Happy birthday to you. You need kids, and you need to pay unrealistic child support." Look, look. Do I want kids? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would love to have kids. The goal for me was always to have at the very least two or three. As I'm getting, much older, um, three is probably out of the question. But if I could have at least two, awesome. And if not, then listen, it is what it is. I'm still gonna try to enjoy my life as much as possible.
All right.
Um,
Moses in the chat too. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
yeah. Hey, something I just realized. I think isn't this Ryan's first time being the first to comment? Big shout out to you, man.
Yeah, it is. So okay, so explain to everyone before we get to our topic. Well, explain to everyone what the hell happened on Saturday.
Oh, I was gonna share one last thing I had.
Okay.
All right. So these I know for a fact you don't care for, but I care about these. And big shout out to my brother for handing me these over to me. Let me get everything. Make sure I get everything right and correct.
Yeah.
Let me see. All right. So he pretty much. All right. This one. I think this one was. I think this one was last year's, but you recognize this person, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So and it's signed,
Yeah.
actually signed, by him,
I
which is that's really cool. Go ahead.
didn't McKinley meet him at a Comic Con one time,
Yeah,
and is that the thing that he signed for him that he gave to you, or is that something different?
yeah. That's the one that he gave me.
Oh,
That
okay.
that that one was that one was last year. These are the ones that he gave me this year.
Oh,
So he this one. Do you know who this person is?
oh, damn. I no, you gotta remind me.
That's Naomi Hunter
Naomi Hunter. Yeah, I don't ring. It doesn't ring a bell to me.
from Metal Gear Solid.
Which one?
She was on Metal Gear Solid, and she was on Metal Gear Solid. Was she on Metal Gear Solid 2? No, she was on 2. She was on 4. Metal Gear
Four.
Solid. Yeah, on 4.
Damn.
Yeah,
I seen the ending of that game too, and I don't remember her.
yeah. Naomi Hunter, and AKA Jennifer Haley. I think Jennifer Haley. So yeah. So I got that one, and he also gave me this one. I know you got to know this one. This one is easy. This is probably the easiest one.
Oh, come on, Red Ranger.
Yep. Red Ranger, aka Austin.
Mm-hmm.
Austin. I think Austin. Yeah, St. John. Yeah, St. John Austin. So obviously he signed it. And you can see in the corner. That's for me. He gave it to me. I thought that one was pretty cool. That one I was really surprised. This one, of course, hey, the consistency with this. I mean, I really appreciate this because one, he gave me a cake, which was Superman cake, and I got a Superman's autograph.
Which
I
one? Which one is that?
From the original Superman animated series,
Mm-hmm.
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
he's the voice actor of Superman of the animated series,
Okay,
and
let
he
me ask
also
you a
did
quick question.
Justice League. He did Justice League also.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. I watched the Superman movie. I've seen this movie before, but I actually watched more of it than I've seen before because I only saw the ending of this movie. I think it's called All Star Superman.
All Star Superman.
Yeah. Is
Um,
that what it is? No. Is it?
but is that a recent movie?
No, no, it's not recent. This is the one where Superman he gets poisoned by radiation, and he's slowly, I don't know if I was he's slowly losing his powers or something like that, or either he's getting weak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and the climax of the movie is when Lex Luthor he gets the Superman serum, and he literally is on the verge of killing Superman, but then because he got hit with a gravity gun, his powers his he loses his powers a lot quicker than he anticipated.
I don't remember that one.
You remember?
No, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but it just can't. I just can't think of it at the top of my head. Oh man.
Yeah. I'll send you I'll send you the information about the movie and then see if that'll jar your memory.
Yeah. Were you? Were you? Were you? Were you ever a fan of the series
I
of
see.
this one?
I definitely watched it. I definitely watched it.
Okay.
When I definitely watched it. It's just I don't remember too much about it because I watched a lot of that stuff when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. So you remember liking the animated series, or
Yeah,
you were just watching it? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I was a huge fan of it, and I'm still a fan of it now. The thing is, I'm trying to find the collection because I have the Batman collection, anime, the '90s anime. I just don't have I just don't have the Superman one, and I'm freaking trying to find it, but that thing is so hard to find. And last but not least, I think this is my all-time favorite one out of all of them. He also gave me, I know you know who this person is.
yeah. What's that?
Come on, dude.
David Hayter.
Okay, yeah, AKA Snake, solid Snake. So I mean, I think overall, I am really happy, with my gifts. So I got things that were signed by the actual voice actors. I have a body cam and I have cologne. So I think overall, oh, and a Superman cake. So I think overall, it was a nice birthday. It was definitely a nice birthday. I'm gonna make sure I get these things framed because these things are valuable, at least to me.
Yeah,
So I have to make sure that these things get framed. So this was overall a very good birthday, very great gifts. I'm happy. So big shout out to the fam, to my brother, to my friends who were there celebrating with me. Fantastic birthday. So yeah, praise the Lord. I thank God I'm alive again.
yeah. Okay, before we get to what I want to talk about, let me read some comments. Vito is in the chat. What's going on? And I think he's asking you about the thumbnails.
Um, either five thumbnails. I'm gonna have to look. Wait, hold on. I think the five thumbnails that he had shown me. I don't think those were the ones I wanted. Vito. Yeah, go ahead and read some comments. Let me look real quick.
Okay. Oh, I mean, it really nothing. Just Joshua in the chat. What's going on, bro? And
Nephew. Oh yeah, I gotta have to talk to you, nephew. I saw your long text message. Yeah, you and I gonna have to have a little chit chat, nephew.
and um and Joe said that I disappointed him. What I disappoint you with, bro? And you talked about there was probably like an echo. I didn't hear it, but thankfully, if it's not a problem now, then that's fine. But what did I disappoint you with, bro?
That's what I'm curious about that too, because we haven't even started the podcast yet, unless he's talking about something outside of it.
Probably talking about one of the probably talking about Naomi that I didn't know about.
Well, no, that I'm not gonna let you go to. I'm not gonna go hard on you on that because you're not really a big Metal Gear. You're not a big Metal Gear fan, so
He said that you took too long to know Snake. No, I mean,
that that one, yeah, I agree with that one. That one I agree with. You took way
no,
too long with that.
I forgot the guy's name because remember there's two guys who voice Snake. You know what I mean? I mean, there's two guys who voice Snake. Obviously, David Hayter is the main one, but we know who the other one is. Keith Sutherland. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, but still, come on, man. That although that you haven't been a really good, well, no, I don't want to say really good. You're not really a huge Metal Gear
yeah.
fan, but at the end of the day, though, you know who he is, man. Come on, bro.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm actually have to agree with Jabonis on this one, man. I'm disappointed in you too.
Okay.
Oh man.
Regardless, he said there's only David. I mean that you gotta ask Kojima that. You gotta ask Kojima about that. And he said you never said that. You just told me you didn't want one with Mayweather and seen me since that all respect though.
Um, yeah, I'm looking at them now. Hang on.
Is this your first time looking at them?
No, but I could have sworn I responded that I wanted, a lot of changes. Let me see.
Joe, that could be a decision that Kojima made. I think that's a Kojima thing. I don't think that's a Konami thing. So,
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm looking at them now. On V2. Yeah,
well,
these.
I mean, you can tell him that you can tell him what you need from him, in private.
All right, fine.
And in due time, medals in due time. Okay, so you have, like you said, you have a body camera. What the hell happened at the clinic Saturday?
So, okay, so the now this is gonna be maybe a little bit political here, but Hoopy asked me the question, everyone, so bear with me. So I went to the abortion clinic, and the abortion clinic wasn't open yet. I got there like a half hour early, and I gave
Oh, so this
one of
happened before it opened.
yeah, this is before, right before they opened,
Mm-mm.
and one of the girls was sitting on the floor, and then I just passed her, one of the flyers. Man, I wish I had one with me. I would have showed you how what it looked like. It's probably
I don't care how it looks. Well, let's get to what happened.
so. I passed her one of the literature where it describes how babies form, and what are how it's developed, and etc. etc.
I'm sure she knows.
So yeah. And then so I pretty much told her. I said to her, listen, I just want to let you know that we have free resources for you. I understand that you at a abortion clinic, but we just letting you know that this is obviously your decision, but there's other options for you out there. We will help you. We give you free baby showers. We continue to help you until at the age of 2. I think it's I have to go back and look to see if it's at 2 or before they be turned. No, yeah, I think it's at 2 years old. As soon as the baby hits 2 years old, I think that's when we stop, because obviously we have other newborns to help out, especially if the families have financial hardship. So anyway, I was telling her all of that, and I was telling her, again, it is your decision, but at the end of the day, we want to let you know that we are here for you, and that you are a mother, and that God loves you, and God loves your children. We care about you, and we care about your child. So she's listening to me, and it seems like she was. I'm not gonna say she was starting to cry, but as she's like really, starting to listening to everything what I was saying, some guy, all just some random dude just comes up to me and say, "Hey, stop harassing her, stop harassing her." He starts videotaping me, and I said, "Listen, you can videotape me all you want, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay here." And that's when I made the mistake, because my focus was supposed to be on her, the mom. But then he distracted me. He got all in my face, saying that you need to leave her alone. You need to get out of here. You don't belong here. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. And I said, look. I said, listen, dude. I'm not here trying to talk to you. I'm talking to her. You obviously not a real man. You're a coward. And he goes, oh, I'm a coward. And I'm like, yes, that's what you are. You're a coward. Men are here supposed to be protecting women and children. And right here, you are just wanting all children to die, and so that makes you a coward. And he goes, "Oh, he didn't know what to say, so then he starts insulting my mom. Stupid, mom jokes, and whatnot. So people who are not even involved, he starts getting them involved, And then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of your license plate." So he takes a picture of my license plate, and I said, "Dude, you could do whatever you want. I'm not here. I'm not trying to fight you. I have a job to do." And he goes, "Yeah, well, you go get a real job. I mean, I have a real job. Like, what I'm saying? Like, I work at a hospital. I have a real job. So, but I'm doing this because I wanted to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make a difference in people's lives." And he starts cursing at me, and then I see two other people coming up, and I'm trying to pass them out the exact same literature. And he's like, "Oh no, they're with me. You leave them alone. You leave them alone. They're with me. They're with me. They're with me." I don't know if he was their dad or if he was their uncle or what. I have no idea. But I'm trying to talk to them, and he gets right in front of my face, and it's starting to go really crazy from there because I'm like trying to yo, give me some space, give me some space. And then he leaves, and I see two cop cars come at me. So one park next to me and one park at the opposite side of me, and they asked me, "Hey, what's going on?" And the other two, Debbie and I forgot the other girl's name, came to me and said, "No, the guy was just causing trouble. He wasn't harassing anybody." And the cops were just like, "Okay, well, just as long as you don't step into their property, everything is fine." And I said, "Yeah, everything was fine." And then he said, "Oh, and don't play the music too loud." So then I asked him a question. I said, "Let me ask you something. Can you explain to me what is the difference between someone having a microphone or a speakerphone start screaming and yelling, and the difference between that and someone just playing music?" He paused for a second and he said, "That's a good point." And he said, "Honestly, I really don't know. The only thing is the city requires us to respond when somebody, calls the police. So we just have to respond to see, what the situation is going on here." And I said, "So I could play the music. I just can't play it, extremely loud, but I could still play the music." He's like, "Yeah, you can play the music. You have your freedoms. It is freedom of speech. It is freedom of expression. You have the right to do whatever you want. The only thing is, we are just here to respond the call. That's all we're here for. We're just doing our job." And I said, "No, you guys are doing a phenomenal job." He smiled and he went away. And then he let both cops left, and we continued to do our thing after that. But
What did the guy do after?
no, he left. He had when the cops showed up, he had already left.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
he had already left. So that's
okay.
why I appreciate this gift right here, which is the body cam. I'm definitely going to use this Saturday, and I'm actually looking forward to it because now I have this for backup, and I don't have to use my phone, to record stuff. And how this thing works is that it'll record, for 5 days, and after the fifth day, it's just going to loop over what happened, all the recordings from the first day. So it's just going to constantly record until you have footage that you want to show the police and whatnot. What was your question?
All right. The question I have is why. The only thing that I ask when it comes to this situation, right? Because if that's what you said to her, then I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with what you said to her, as long as you guys respect her decision, regardless of what it is. I don't have a problem with that. When it comes to the guy, why did you let him take a picture of your license plate?
I thought we already addressed that. Remember
I
when
don't.
we
Did
are
you ever get an answer? I don't think I got an answer.
when we are in a public area, they could take a picture of whatever they want, including your license plate. So even though the license plate is like you're part of like your, I guess, personal identification or whatnot,
Yeah,
they have the unfortunately they actually have the right to take a picture whatever they want because it's in a public space, in a public setting, if you will.
bro.
So he so,
If that was me, if that was me, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get that phone because I have no idea what that loser trying to do with my plate. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like but like I said, I understand you're kind of caught. I know, I'm sure you were caught off guard by the situation. So I can't really blame you there. But if that was me, I'm trying to get that phone hook, line, or at least I'm going to tell the cops what he did.
I honestly think the cop probably wouldn't have done anything. I don't think they would have told him, "Oh, delete the footage," or grab his phone. I don't think the cops would have been able to do anything. Because I think because you know how when people say, "Oh, don't record me,"
Mhm.
but if you're in a public space, like let's say at the beach, they could record whoever or whatever they want at any
Yeah,
time that they want.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
yeah, and yeah, man, I would not have been okay with that. At least if he didn't like what I was doing, is whatever. But getting in my face and nothing like that, no, that would not fly with me. Definitely not.
yeah, understood. That's why I went at him, and I, I'm actually waiting to see the post because I was assuming that he was going to post everything online on Twitter or whatever. So I was actually looking for it because um not because I wanted to get a good laugh at it, but I was actually worried because the way how I responded to him is not really the proper way how you're supposed to respond when you're out there working and you're trying to save children's lives. Like that's not how you're supposed to represent love life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, so let me read some comments. Obviously, my sister's in the chat. Whitney was
Whitney, what's up, Whitney? I cannot believe you are here. What's up, Whitney?
yes. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right, so Joe says with the lady thing, there is a fine line between informing and harassing because some of these chicks are already having a hard time, and you could be making them feel worse. That is true. You definitely even if you are trying to help them, you have to understand they're there because they don't have any other option. You have to understand they don't really have any other option. They clearly don't have any help when it comes to something like that. So you have to be careful.
When
Right.
you
So
say
right.
when you say when you say that, well, the fact that, but remember, we had a lot of rescues before.
No, I understand.
So
I
we
understand.
so so we can't.
But the thing you have to understand where they're coming from at that point in time.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like you said, she looked like she was she was there in at the beginning of the day. And this situation, whether you're pro or against, pro life or pro choice, that choice is incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult, right? You got a lot of people tugging away at you on both sides of the aisle, and like it's not an easy situation for them. So I understand what Joe's saying. And Ryan says my body, my body, my choice. And then Joe says, "I know you feel like you have a duty, but make sure that it doesn't go to making her feel shittier than she does." Yeah, and that's the most important thing. Like I said, I don't have an issue with what you're doing. Right? We may have different opinion about abortion, but I don't
Completely
have.
different opinions.
It's not
Completely
that
different.
it's not that different. But the thing is that we may have differences of opinion, but if you are willing to help them, then that's fine. I have no problem with that. The problem is you always have people who go too far, and those are the people who I can't stand. And it goes both ways. Goes both ways. Like with that dipshit that you dealt with on Saturday, that's going too far in the other direction. And I probably agree with him more than I agree with you. But I'm not. I would never tolerate that type of behavior from anybody. Doesn't matter if I'm pro or against, pro life or pro choice.
Hmm.
I would never ever just go up to somebody and harass them over their opinion. I'm never ever going to do that.
Yeah. Now let me quickly respond to what Jabonis had said. He said that, oh, they feel bad than they already do. Well, the question I would ask you then, why do they feel bad? If making the choice to abort is perfectly fine, or it's their right, why feel bad about it,
No,
Jabonis?
because it's probably something that they don't want to do.
No, no, I want Jabonis to answer because if they actually feel bad about it, why? I mean, like you said, it's perfectly in their right. Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, it's not murder, according to what you guys always like to say. Oh, it's not the same thing as killing a 1 year old child. To me, a human life is still human life, in my opinion. So That's why I have always told you and in the chat and to Jabanis, the location is irrelevant to me. Has always been irrelevant to me as far where the baby is located. The fact is, all of us, you, me, everyone in the chat, everyone that's watching us here live right now, have all started at that point. So by us starting at that point, how are we any better than those who are in that point currently? We're not. We're not any better than them. That's how and that's just how nature works. That's how reality works. That's how science works, biology, whatever. That's how humans are created. That's how humans are formed, and we are not God, and we have no right to say, "Oh well,
Joe,
I just
Joe,
don't feel like it, so I'm just going to, abort you," which is murder because
Joe
abortion is
answered
ending
you.
a life.
Joe answered you.
He all he said was Hoovy said it.
Yeah.
Well, what was your answer again?
You were you listening to me or what?
What was your answer again? I just want to remember what it
No,
was.
it's just like it's not a situation where it's not a situation where they just want to do it just to do it. I think that's part of the problem. The part of the problem that we have is that you look at it as black and white, and it's not every abortion is black and white. There's always shades of gray in every situation. There's always different circumstances that they deal with that are something that we don't deal with as men. We don't deal with that at all. And if she's there, then clearly she's run out of options. She's clearly run out of options. Now, if your organization is willing to help her, that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But whatever decision that she makes, she should be respected in her decision making. And whatever decision that she makes, hopefully she has the care that to help her recover. Whether it's through you or a doctor, as long as she gets that help, then I don't have a problem with none of it. So whatever everything else that you guys can argue with that on at Discord in the non safe space. I need to make that clear. Non safe space. We have a category for you, for me, for David, for Joe, and for Malta to go in there and we can argue our differences all day, every day. If you're not joining the Discord, please join the Discord.
Why can't that be discussed in the general one? What's the
That's
difference
why
between what's the difference between the general and non-safe space?
not everybody wants to discuss that type of stuff in the general.
Hmm.
Is
I don't.
that's why I created it in the first place.
Okay.
No, Joe, no. He said that. No, I'm done talking to Steven there. No, you can look. You don't have to talk. You can talk to David. That's fine. You can talk to David.
Eh, I'm gonna just say one last thing. Joel says that abortion ain't murder. Well, this is all your fault, having no. You wanted us to talk about this, so
No, you were gonna
but
talk. No, don't blame me. You were gonna talk about this anyway. So stop it.
no, no, no. You asked the question of what happened. Remember?
No. Yeah, I
Yes,
did.
you
I
did.
did. I
You
did.
did.
But
Yes.
don't act like you weren't gonna talk about this.
I don't think I was. But
Come on,
um,
you talk every week. Every time I ask you what do you do this weekend, you always mention the clinic. You always mention the clinics, right? So why wouldn't you when something actually interesting actually happened? Yeah, I want to hear about it.
okay. So fair enough, fair enough. So Joe says abortion ain't murder. So okay, so if it's not murder, what you also if it's not murder, what you're also saying by not being murdered, you didn't kill anything. So what when it says abortion is ending a pregnancy, I'm going to safely say with confidence you killed something, Jabanis, right? You and in order to kill something, it has to be a living thing, and it's not a parasite, it's not an alien, It's not a bug. It's human Jabonis. So I don't know what you're talking about. That it's not murder, because that's exactly what abortion is: ending a life. That's exactly what it is. That's a fact. So if you don't like it, tough. But that's what the facts are. An abortion is ending a life, a human life. Now we can move on.
Okay. Okay. Shout out to David. He's in the chat.
What's
Not
up, Dave?
yeah. So, and I like I said, we're gonna move on. Like I said,
No, no,
if you guys,
you can read the rest of it. You can read the
no,
rest
no,
of
no,
it.
I'm good. I'm good. Good.
No, you can read the rest of it. Like you can read the rest of it. Like Jabonis loves to talk trash. Go ahead, read the rest of it.
No, I'm good because we got moving. We're 40 minutes.
I'll read it. I'll read it. I'll be quick. I'll be quick. So he says David, yes, but Steve is too bullheaded and on an ass clown. Um, that's you, Jabonis. That's you. You every time when you get proven wrong and when you're in the corner, the only way for you to compensate is to curse and call me an idiot. That's what you like to do. He says, yeah, I F with David. End the Hoovy before it spawns eggs.
Yeah, which is too late. Too late.
Who he says, Hoovy, I'm done. All right, so let's see. Last one. David says, even if it's not exactly alive at the point of abortion, you're still sniffing out the potential for life to develop. And again, David, it's
You said
constantly
it's gonna be quick.
it's developing, and in order for it to develop, obviously it's alive. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
obviously alive.
So,
It's growing. It's getting nutrition from the mom. It's a living thing. It's its own body. It's its own DNA. So of course, when you do an abortion, that is absolutely ending the life, which is
right.
murder, by the way.
Okay. Moving on. Well, since you're in heat, go ahead. Talk about Charles Barkley.
I'm not in heat. I'm not in heat. I just like proving Jabonis wrong, and then I just wait and anticipate for his foul language. That's all.
Since you're in heat, talk about Charles Barkley.
All right. So I'm gonna share this article. I'm not gonna read the whole thing,
Mhm.
but I do have a video also regarding with Charles Barkley, and I am very disappointed in this guy. So let's just read the article real quick.
FY, Joe, you're trust me, you're what you're about to hear. You're not gonna be happy with this either. So just letting you know.
Why? Tell me why.
I, I have a feeling that I know what this is about.
Yeah, no, no, no. All right.
And I fucking know it. And I fucking know it.
Wait, hold on, hold on.
Go ahead. Continue, continue.
Wait, hold on. Wait. So you knew this whole entire time?
I had a feeling. I had a good feeling, but I wanted to make sure that I knew, what it was. But now I know. Now I
Okay. So basketball legend Charles Barkley went on a profanity-filled rant, which is something that Jabonis likes to do. Over the weekend against those who have criticized Bud Light over its partnership with trans influencer Dylan. I was never able to say the last name right. Do you remember how to say the last name?
Let me see. Mulvaney.
Mulvaney. Okay, we'll go with that. Mulvaney. In video that circulated on social media on Monday, Barkley offered to buy a round of drinks for the crowd at a bar in Lake Tahoe, California, where he was reportedly competing in a celebrity golf tournament. So
Is
I'm
that
gonna.
the same golf tournament that Steph Curry hit a hole in one?
I saw that one, dude. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was incredible.
Yeah,
That
and
that
shout out to I think Ruben, aka Charmaine, shared that. That was insane.
that was unbelievable. And him celebrating and having his and just running down the field. I thought that was just very entertaining to watch. Now again, I didn't see the game. I only saw that one clip,
Mhm.
but I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty impressive. Very, very impressive. Golfing is hard. Like I've tried it, dude. That thing is hard. It's not easy. It's not easy. All right, so let's continue on. So he says, so hey, let me tell you something. All you rednecks or a-holes who don't want to drink Bud Light, F y'all. Hey, y'all can't cancel me, he added to a mixture of cheers and boos. Hey, I ain't worried about getting canceled because let me tell you something. If y'all fire me and give me all that money, I'm going to be playing golf every effing day. So listen, as I said last night, if you're gay, God bless you. If you're trans, God bless you. And if you have a problem with that, if you have a problem with them, F you. No, 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 no. Here's what I want to say, first off.
Mhm.
I can't remember if Charles Barkley is a Christian or not. I can't remember if he said that if he's a believer and he believed in Jesus Christ. I cannot remember. So I want to be fair. However, if he is doing a very very bad job at portraying or representing Christianity. There is absolutely no blessing that comes from being trans or from being gay. God's not blessing that. God's not blessing that. What? No way whatsoever. He's blessing people for being trans or for being gay. He made it very clear in His Word that it's an abomination. That it is sin. It's something that He's not going to tolerate. And in fact, He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. That's one of the reasons why He destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah in the first place. Of all the homosexuality nonsense, all the sacrificing, all the craziness that's going on over there, and He completely destroyed it to oblivion. Completely destroyed it. And for Charles Barkley to now say, well, God bless you if you're trans, God bless you if you're if you're gay, that's heresy, and that's being deceptive. You know what I mean? It's being
Wait,
complete
wait, wait,
heresy if because
wait, wait, wait.
if he is a believer and he's telling people, well, God bless you for being gay, God bless you for being trans. That's heresy right then and there. What was your comment? What was you gonna say?
Um, how is that any different than you saying that you love them anyway? How is that different?
What are you talking about?
You always say, "Oh, I don't hate these people. I hate their lifestyle," which is a fucking lie. But is that what you
That's
say,
true.
right? No,
That's exactly what I said. That's
but
exactly
what
what
you
I
say.
say.
Is that what you say, right?
That's what I
But
say.
that's what you say.
I
Wait,
don't
wait,
support their lifestyle.
hold on. But that's what
I
you
don't
say.
support their lifestyle.
That's
You're
what
right.
you say. You say that we love them anyway. Yes or no?
We love them because that's a requirement. We're supposed to love them, but we don't
Okay. So what?
endorse or embrace or tolerate or
So
support their
why? So
lifestyle
why is him telling them to God bless you? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that an issue for you?
because he's not blessing any of that. God's not blessing any of that.
Okay, I'm confused here. You're saying that we love them anyway. Isn't blessing them that's not love?
No, you no. He's remember if all he was saying was God bless you all or whatnot, but he is saying God bless them for being trans and gay. No, no. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
So you don't love them if they're openly and admittedly they're trans or they're gay and they don't have a problem with it, then you don't love them at all.
That's not true. That's not how it works. Having no.
I
You
bro,
could
you're confusing me,
you
bro.
could still love someone or care about someone and not support what they do.
And God and bless them, right? God bless them, right?
Not God bless them for being gay. No,
God bless them for doing what?
no, not for being gay. That's the difference. That's the difference.
I'm not seeing a difference here.
That's a big difference.
I'm not seeing a difference here.
I don't know how you don't, but
I, I
I have a little bit more to say. Let me read this last bit right here.
all right.
Conservatives have dug against dug in against Bud Light over an Instagram ad featuring Malvani, whatever, earlier this year. The brand recently fell from its spot as the top selling beer brand in the US for the first time in more than 2 decades. Um, Marcel Marcondes, um, yeah, the owner, whatever. I forgot his name. I can't pronounce his name.
Mhm.
Global Chef Marketing Officer said that the controversy was a wake up call to how things can get divisive and controversial so easily. Now, Hoovy, you had said this last week. You had mentioned, I think this was last week or the week before when we was talking about the diversity of when we was talking about Game Fest,
Yeah, yeah.
and you had mentioned that, oh, these people are also our customers. Do you remember
Mhm.
saying that?
Yeah,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't libertarians, conservatives, Republicans, Christians, aren't they customers too?
absolutely.
Yes. So, what is the issue of just keeping everything neutral and not catering to one or the other? Why can't they just remain in the center, be neutral, and then just make your ads, the- all, make your advertisement like you've always been, and not trying to cater to one or the other? Because if you're trying to appease everybody, wouldn't it be the best for any company to do is to remain neutral? Yes or no?
In theory, yeah.
No,
But
no, no,
we
no, no, no,
but
no.
we know no no no
Yes,
no no
yes
no
or
no.
no. Yes or no.
Oh, it's not a yes or no answer. You want it to be yes or no answer, but it's not.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It is yes
You
or no
want it to be
answer.
no, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, yes,
No, it's not.
absolutely.
Because
Because you said they're customers.
yeah.
So if Republicans and conservatives and libertarians are customers too,
Mhm.
and you want them to buy your stuff,
Okay.
shouldn't you be in a neutral position?
In theory, yes. However, here's the difference. If you don't have a problem with them having themes, which is what companies like to do, they have themes where they have themes of Fourth of July, Veterans Day, um, pick a holiday. They may have football themed. They probably have sports team themed beer and all the other stuff. Why is it that when it comes to supporting a trans person, now all of a sudden we have a problem with that? Now we want it to be neutral, but when it goes to either supporting a sports team or a brand or a holiday, we don't say shit. And they're trying to appease a certain group of jobs. They're not appeasing everybody. Hell, I'm watching the baseball game right now, and one of the advertisements I see
Mm-hmm.
behind the batter's box is Jesus believe even without a rally, the thing got cut off from the side.
Oh
Even
crap!
without
Take a picture of that. Let me see. Take
uh,
a picture of it and let me see. Can you take a picture of it?
I mean, I don't know if I want to.
No, no,
But,
no. Do it. I'll answer your question while you do that. Let
okay,
me
fine.
answer your question.
But they have that in the ballpark, right? Along with advertisements for. Well, I have to wait till I come back. From Equity Facts, Honda, they have so many billboards out there trying to appease certain groups of people, and the company is doing it for advertising. At the end of the day, all this is advertising. But the problem is that because you guys don't like, and when I say you guys, I'm talking about you, because
Me?
you guys, yeah, because you guys do not like who these people are,
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to
and you
say I don't
don't,
like these people. Go ahead.
yeah, well, if you
No,
want me to say it
it's
that
not
way,
the
I'll
same
say it
thing.
that way.
No, no, no.
No,
It's not the same
no,
thing. It's
no,
not the
because
same thing.
here,
It's
but
not the
here's the
same
thing.
thing.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you have a problem with it, with them trying to appease them and trying to cater to that portion of the audience, then what does that tell me about how you feel about them? Realistically, what does that tell me about how you see them? When anytime they get a little bit of shine. Now, mind you, I didn't even want to get to this, but you have a court, the Supreme Court, are literally taking their rights away.
I thought you said you didn't want to get political.
Okay, but it has something to do with it.
No,
The
go
Supreme
ahead.
Court, the Supreme Court is literally taking their rights away. Any company can now discriminate against gays and trans, right? But yet here we are. A company is giving them a little bit of shine, and I have to hear this bullshit from you regarding a company that you don't even give two flying fucks about. You don't drink beer,
No, I don't.
yet, but yet I have to hear you talk about how a company that you don't even use their product, how stupid they are
Yeah, they are stupid.
for appeasing a group of their audience, which is what they do when they do Team Pacific beer when they do Holiday Pacific beer, they do this for everybody. But when they do it for these people, you get mad.
Yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Because you mentioned
Oh, they changed it. They changed it. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I got it. Continue with this.
because you mentioned 4th of July or or whatnot
Mm-hmm.
for as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, when it comes to independence, you're celebrating our independence. That's inclusive for everybody. No, nobody is excluded from that. Nobody. When it comes to
There's a
when it
lot of
comes
people who
to
don't celebrate Fourth of July. There's a lot of people who don't celebrate Fourth of July.
when it comes to, you mentioned Veterans Day,
Mm-hmm.
or and whatnot. Every single person have appreciation that we have a military,
That's
that
not
we
true.
have people that we have people who actually serve to protect this country.
That's not true.
If you don't support that, then you're dumb.
No, how? Wait, how? Why? How is that? How is that dumb? How does that make any
You're
sense?
dumb. So what essentially what you're saying is that you don't want a military, that you don't want this country to be protected. That's what
No,
you're
people,
saying.
people, people don't care. People don't care, and they are within their right to not care.
Okay, they have the right to not care about it, which I think is dumb. But at the end of the day, even if they don't care, what does that matter? That still doesn't. I'm trying to figure out the correlation between that and being trans. I still understand the correlation because
Everybody, every
because when it comes to independence and veterans, everybody is included in that.
everybody gets what these companies are doing are literally just advertising for groups of people. That's it. That's it. It's not, the beer is clearly not for you because you don't drink beer in the first place.
I don't drink
It's
beer, but nor do I support transgenderism
that's fine.
or gays, for that matter.
That's
Why?
fine.
Because it's abnormal and it is something that, as a Christian, should not be supporting or endorsing.
That's
I
perfectly
mean,
fine.
okay, if it's perfectly fine, then it should also be perfectly fine that I'm not supporting it and that I don't want to see it. That should be perfectly fine too.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So all right. So what's going on? So what's the
Don't
problem?
feed
So what's the
me.
problem?
No, the problem is that
So what's the problem?
no. The problem is that this is something that I have to hear from you every day in the chat and pretty much every day during the podcast. That's the
No, we
problem.
don't. That is not true. That's not true.
You bring
That's
this
not
shit
true.
to me. No. You bring this shit to me, and you keep spouting off the same stuff you've been saying since we started the podcast.
Did we talk about this stuff last week? No.
No. Don't play dumb.
Did we talk about this the week before? No.
Steve, stop. Do not play dumb. Don't play dumb. Okay. Anytime there's a situation when it comes to a gay pride night, when it came to Leah Thomas, when it came to Zaya Wade, all this stuff you wanted to talk about it. And every one of these topics, you just said the same thing you've been saying this whole time. You bring this stuff to me. You bring this stuff to the chat also, to the WhatsApp chat also. So this stuff about I just don't want to see it, but yet you bring it to me every single day. You think I get
every single day?
Yeah.
Every single day,
Yes,
really?
yes.
So I brought it up yesterday.
Let me ask you a question.
I brought it up yesterday or the day before.
Let me ask you a question.
Don't start lying.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Do I give two flying fucks about Bud Light?
I don't know.
No. The answer is no. No. I don't fucking care about Bud Light. I don't care.
Dude, mind your language, please. Go ahead.
Come on, Steve, stop the BS. The only time you've cursed is talking about this stuff in the first place. So don't give me that. Again, don't play dumb.
I don't curse. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you want to bring back the tape when you curse? You want to you want to run the tape?
Okay, go ahead. You can run the tape. Go ahead.
All right. We'll see in the WhatsApp. I'll have it in the WhatsApp. At the end of the day, here's the thing regarding Charles Barkley thing. I don't have a problem with what he said. I had no problem with what he said.
Of course you don't.
No, I don't.
Of course you don't.
Because this is on brand for Charles Barkley. Right? I don't have a problem with what he said. And to me, At the end of the day, it's not a big deal to me because at the end of the day, I have more important things to worry about in my life. I don't give a shit what some random beer company has to say about who they're teaming with. I don't fucking care. But clearly you do.
You don't care
And
about
what and
anything.
what
Go ahead.
but clearly you do. And we all know why. It is not all of a sudden like this. Like I always said to you, your actions speak louder than your words.
What
It
actions?
does.
What actions?
Yeah, the constantly trashing them, and then and talking out of both sides of your mouth. Oh, this is abnormal. I hate them. Blah 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 blah. And then you'll be
I
like,
never said I hate them. I never said I hate
no,
them,
no, no, no,
having
no.
now. I
What,
never said I hate them.
but then on the other side of your mouth, you say, "Oh, I love them." This and that. Then when a guy pretty much tells them, "Oh, bless you," now you want to get answered over it. Despite the fact that you guys are basically trying to do the same thing, the big difference is he does it out of a place of love. You do it out of a place of pretending to care about to love them, of wanting to change them in your image by way of Jesus. That's the difference.
First off, you're wrong. I don't hate them, Havinel. I don't. At the end of the day, even you have said that when it comes to trans, and even when it comes to gays, even you said that they have a mental disorder. That's what you said. You've said that. You.
Okay.
And so let's just go with that. If that's the case, there is absolutely no reason why mental disorders is a good thing. It's not. And I don't want to hear you say anything about, oh, well, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. When it comes to mental illnesses and mental disorders, clearly that means those people need help. That's what it means. And because they need help, the last thing that we should be doing is endorsing that lifestyle. And the last thing that we should be doing is promoting that lifestyle. Right? That's the last thing that we should supposed to be doing. If you truly care about those people, if you truly care about them, then what you do is you actually go by and give them proper correction. Especially when they're saying to you, when they're asking, oh, I'm confused. I don't know, if I'm this, if I'm that. I don't know if I'm, male or female or whatever.
I'm not gonna give
The
them
be-
the answer.
the best thing for them is to seek help.
Listen, I'm not gonna give them. I don't have the answers, and I know for a fact that you don't either. I know for a fact that you don't either.
We already know what the answer is.
No, that's what you've been. That's what you've been fed. We know that's what you've been fed.
No, that's what the answer is.
No, that's what you think the answer is. But at the
No,
end of the day,
no,
you
no,
don't.
no,
At the end of the day,
that's what the answer is.
nobody here knows the answer.
Oh, please. So there is there is no answer. There is no true or false. That's what you're saying.
I mean,
that's what you're saying. That's
whether
what you're
there is
saying.
or isn't, it's not my problem.
That's what you're saying. That there is no true, there is no false, there is no true answer. Is what you're trying to say.
Whether they do or not, it doesn't matter to me.
That's nonsense.
Whether there is or isn't is not a concern to me.
All right, let me play the video. Let me play the video.
Video of what? What are you? Charles Barkley?
Yeah.
Okay. While you get the video, let me read some comments. And I'm not going to read all the comments because, like I said, I'm not interested in going ciphering through the BS on here. All right. Okay, I'll read this. You see, for a Christian, Steve's a coward and a bully. He takes shots at people when he has a bigger blowhorn, and knows he can't respond as loud as he can.
Well, give an example, Jabanis. Give an example. Go ahead.
Okay, so he called you a bigot and a coward, and he also said that the Bible didn't. Oh my bad. The Bible didn't say he burned down Sodom and Gomorrah because the sin is there. The sin there.
So obviously he didn't listen. I said that was one of the reasons why, that he tore it down. So clearly you wasn't listening. You only want to listen to what you think you want to hear. So go ahead, continue reading.
He also said that last I checked, Steve ain't a preacher, and I know preachers who don't hate as much He didn't say God bless you. He said God bless them. Okay. This is safe place all over. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Ruben said was good. Was good. Torian said was good, fellas, and and then Joe said to me, "Drop it before Steve says more anti-gay and prejudice shit out." It's too late. Like I if I had to stop, he would have stopped years ago. But that didn't stop him.
Well, first off, I haven't said not one prejudice thing. All I said was that I don't support transgenderism. I don't support homosexuality. That's all I said. I didn't say anything about them. Oh, they shouldn't be. They don't have free rights. I didn't say anything like that. I didn't say that. Oh, they shouldn't. Consume alcohol. I didn't say they cannot participate in sports activities. Anything like that. All I said is that I don't want to support that lifestyle. You do. Hoovy do. You guys want to support that stuff. I don't.
No,
I don't.
It's not even that, bro. Cause hear what you do. When we don't agree with you, you just say that, oh, we're on the other side. I don't care. I don't care. Legitimately, I don't care. But like I said,
if you don't care, why do you always defend them?
Yeah, I have to defend them from the bigotry that.
Okay. So you care. So you care.
No.
Yeah. Yep. You care.
But here's the thing. As an African American, I am automatically against discrimination. I am. Whether it's against black people, whether it's against gays, trans, I'm against it. It's just how I am. But when it comes to like talking about stuff like Bud Light and all the other stuff, I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care. The problem is that this stuff is always brought to me by you.
First off, you already knew this stuff even before I brought it to your attention.
But that doesn't mean I want to talk about it.
That's fine, but I do.
And of course you do. Of course you do. Yes. Because why? Yes. Why? Because we know that you use this podcast as your way of trashing gays and trans.
See, this is what you do. This is what you do. You and Jabanes just don't like the fact that I don't support their lifestyle.
No.
I want to finish. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
That's not true.
Let me tell you why.
Go ahead.
It is true.
No, it's not true.
It is true because every single time when I come on here or we're in our private chat and I say that I don't support their lifestyle, I don't support what they do, it is sin. It is something that is ungodly and that they need to repent. The first thing you say is action speaks louder than words, or clearly you hate them. That's what you say.
Well, and why?
As a response,
why do you think I
hold on. That? You say those things as a response of me saying that I don't support their lifestyle and that it is sin. That's your response.
No.
That's always your response.
Now you're being disingenuous. I wouldn't have to say any of this stuff to you if you just kept your opinion to yourself.
You see? Okay. You see? As a way of saying I don't support them. Exactly.
No. Yes. The thing is, and anybody in that chat can vouch for me. Anytime there's a situation that comes up where either Randy brings it up or Rudolphi brings it up, here you go spotting off with the same stuff over and over again. Over and over and over and over and over again.
Bring what up?
You know what I'm talking about, bro. Like anytime there's a situation when it comes to a trans person or a gay person that they share on there, here you are going off once again.
Yeah, because I don't want to see it.
And but you should tell them to stop sharing posts when it comes to gays and trans. How about that?
When they are posting stuff, look what this trans person did, or they're showing a picture of a woman and trying to trick me, saying that it's actually trans, like what Yoshi used to do. Yeah, that stuff pissed me off. Yeah, I don't want to see that. Exactly. What's the problem? What's the issue?
Is every time is always the same spiel every single time you talk about these people. That's why I told you actions speak louder than words. Because you sit there, you say, You love these people. You love these people. I may not agree with the lifestyle, but you love these people. But on this podcast, you've criticized Dwayne Wade for his parenting skill, despite the fact that you are not a parent. You sit there, you lambaste Leah Thompson any chance you get, especially
So
for those.
I have to be a parent, and all of a sudden I qualify.
I'm talking. I'll let you talk. And then we had a conversation about a gay pride uniform, a preseason gay pride uniform. We had that discussion.
Are you talking about that Lakers
preseason
game?
Okay. Yeah. We talked about a fucking preseason game, and the reason why we talked about it because you were so incensed that they put out a optional gay pride uniform in Los Angeles of all places. My guy, anytime you had a chance to shit on them, you do. And then as someone who listen to you say one thing and then do another, my conclusion is, actions speak louder than words. Okay? If you did say that, if you don't like these people, then we can just move on.
No. See, I see how you tried to slide that thing in there, and you think I was going to catch you. I caught you. I did not say I don't like those people. I said I do not like their lifestyle. I saw what you're trying to do. You try to sneak your way in there. No, that's not going to work with me. I caught you. That's not what's going to happen. That's not what's happening here. What's happening?
Your actions speak louder than your words. They do. You want to pretend that it don't, but it does. So you want to play the Charles Barkley sound?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Play the sound. Get upset, and then we can move on.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Take this. I want y'all to drink this fucking beer.
Okay. First off,
are we really gonna have a breakdown of this?
You're not gonna tell people what they can and they cannot drink if they don't feel like it, especially especially after they constantly trying to endorse this transgenderism nonsense, this gay nonsense. No, of course people are not going to support them anymore if you're going to constantly try to promote that into people's faces. So don't tell us what to do. Let me continue.
I want y'all to drink this fucking beer. I got 3 cases of Bud Light. Hey, and I want to say this. If you're gay, bless you. If you're transgender, bless you. And if you have a problem with that, fuck you.
And you have all these people. No. It is my turn. It is my turn. It is my turn.
Let me say one thing.
No. You get to say it. You get to say it. You get to say it. Okay. Let me finish.
He didn't say God bless you. He said bless you.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Okay. Charles Barkley right now is so lucky that basketball season is over right now.
Why?
He is damn lucky that basketball season is over right now because I guarantee you, all the people that sees this or that's pissed off about this, I guarantee you most likely they are going to forget that this happened when the season starts.
You think you honestly think he gives 2 flying fucks what anybody thinks about what he said?
Yeah.
You think he cares?
Yeah, he cares. Not when I say care, I mean by there's been plenty of occasions of him, responding, to people when he'll go back and forth like we've seen in the past, whether if it's LeBron James or Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson and stuff like that. We've seen it in the past where he will respond to people being pissed off with him.
Yeah, to athletes, to people who he criticizes.
Correct.
Yeah, not to some random dude who hates gays and trans. He don't care about you guys.
Well, he clearly said F you to us.
Yeah.
To people who don't support. Yeah, he said F you to us.
Yeah.
He and the reason why I say he is lucky is because I don't think TNT is happy with this.
Oh, they don't give a flying fuck. They don't fucking care.
I don't think TNT is happy with it.
They don't care.
I don't think TNT is happy
there's
with
a reason. There's a reason why he got a contract extension.
Because he's good. Because he's good. He's entertaining to watch. That's why.
No, yeah, but also because they don't care. They don't fucking care. Because at the end of the day, they know that despite all, you're gonna still watch TNT.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch.
All right, then why?
But it shouldn't be based only upon me having no. What I'm trying to say is having no. What I'm trying to say having no is by just by saying if you remember, a lot of those people that he's saying if you to are fans of his and that show,
and he don't care,
and he's disrespecting all of those people.
You don't care.
You know what I'm saying? And you know this also, revealed to me about this one little clip is that he's no longer showing any type of humility anymore. I think he's being prideful, and I think because of that, he thinks that he's untouchable for thinking that he could say whatever he wants. Because you even said to me, Havinel, who we won 86, and then let me see if I can quote you on this. You have always said when you are in a public space, when you are on TV, all this other stuff that you have always said, oh, be careful what you say. Be careful what you do because it's going to be broadcast in a certain way. You can't say or do whatever the things that you used to do as a person who's not popular or something like that you have said. You have always said that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think Charles Barkley thinks that he's untouchable now. He thinks that he's untouchable, and I honestly believe that there's going to be a point in time to where if he continues to go on this path like this, saying, "Oh, screw you guys, you guys don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I support them or whatever or whatever it is." Keep in mind, Havinel, if people are willing to boycott Bud Light, to boycott freaking Target, not buy games anymore, not buy this anymore, not going to these movies. You actually think that for some reason they're not going to do the same thing with TNT? Of course they can. Of course they can. Like nobody is safe here. If you are going to continue to shove stuff down people's faces, and then you're going to criticize us and start cursing at us because we don't support, a certain lifestyle, there's going to be a point in time where they say, okay, well, we no longer going to support you anymore. And then if that happens, yes, it's going to hurt him and it's going to hurt TNT eventually. Yes, it will. We've already seen it happening now with Bud Light and Target already. So don't think that it's an impossibility that it could happen to TNT also.
Can I talk? Bro, they just paid this man millions and upon millions of dollars. He don't fucking care. And they don't fucking care. Because at the end of the day, why did they hire him? They hired him for his analysis? Like, fuck out of here with that. They hired him because he speaks his mind. Now, I'll tell you this. Mm-hmm. If he went on a gay rant, he absolutely would get in trouble. But he's not. But
you just said they don't care. You said they don't care about any of that.
Okay, but obviously, if he's going around trashing gays and trans, aka doing what you do, that he would absolutely get in trouble.
But you just said they don't care.
Okay, but this they don't care about. This they don't care about. This clearly they don't care about. Oh my God, Whitney, come on, bro. Whitney, come on. Hey, regardless of that.
Yeah, thank you, Whitney. Yeah, what? Yeah, you watch your mouth. We already have one Jabanis. We don't need two.
They don't. At the end of the day, they don't care about this. First of all, he's probably drunk anyway. You can tell he's kind of drunk anyway.
And you think that's a good thing?
I mean, as long as he's not hurting nobody, who cares? Okay. As long as he gets home in an Uber or taxi, whatever, then they're fine. At the end of the day, they're not worried. They're not worried they're not worried about this.
You're awesome, Whitney. I appreciate you.
They're not worried. They're not worried about. They're not worried about this because at the end of the day, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything bad. The only
He said
no,
F you to he said F you to all the conservatives. What are you talking about?
that's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, you see
Yeah.
what you do. You see what you do. You see what you did. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, he did absolutely nothing wrong. Saying F you to his own fan base is absolutely nothing wrong. You just give him a pass on that, saying that that wasn't wrong for what he did. You see what you just did there?
No, what he didn't say nothing that was wrong. He didn't say nothing that was wrong.
What?
He didn't say nothing that's fine. And look, I haven't agreed with everything because here's the thing about when you notice certain people like Charles Barkley, right? He has his own opinions. He's not influenced by anybody. And even though he has said some comments about politics that I don't agree with him on, at the end of the day, I respect him because he has his own opinions. He has his own beliefs. He's not influenced by media or influencers or anything like that. At the end of the day, he's gonna speak his mind. And I'm sure he has friends who are gay. I don't know if he knows anybody who's trans, but he clearly doesn't have the same hatred for these people that someone like you does.
I don't have hatred on those people. I don't hate them.
Keep telling yourself that. That's fine. You keep telling yourself that.
I just want everybody in this chat to know who he's not being honest with you guys. Mm-hmm. I don't hate them. Mm-hmm. For one, I'll say this one last time. There's a big difference between hating someone and disagreeing with what they do. Mm-hmm. Big difference between
you keep telling yourself
hating somebody. So you think it's the same thing? You think it's the same thing?
Listen.
Go ahead. Go. Let me hear your delusions right now. You think it's the same thing?
Your actions.
No. Ask the question. Do you think hating somebody and disagreeing what they do is the same thing?
The way that you do it?
No. Yes or no? Yes or no?
The thing is that you don't do that. You don't do that. So don't sit there and be like, "Oh, I just disagree with your lifestyle." That's full of shit. And I've called you out on it multiple times. I don't believe you.
Of course you don't.
Because the reason why I don't believe you because your actions speak louder than your words.
Actions.
At the end of the day, TNT don't care. They don't care. At the end of the day, if you don't like what he said, that's perfectly fine.
If the ratings go down, you think they're still not going to care?
It don't matter if it goes down. He already got his money.
You're not. That's answering the question. If you think if the ratings starts to go down, TNT is not going to care?
I mean, don't matter.
Yes, they would. No. I'll help you. You want to stutter just for the sake of stuttering. Yes, they are going to care. Yes.
Charles don't care. That's the most important thing. He don't care. Because he even said, if they fire him tomorrow, all he's going to do is just golf all the time. That's it.
Okay. That once again, like I said before, the pride and thinking that he's untouchable. That's not a good look for him because hold on. Let me say this real quick.
Please be quick. Because I don't want to forget this.
Okay, yeah. What I'm trying to say is because even you have said over all the years, depending on the person or these companies, you shouldn't have this state of mind thinking that, you're untouchable, nothing's going to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen to me. I could say and do whatever I want, and nothing is going to happen to me. Like that. That doesn't look good of all the people who support you and who you work for. That's not a good look for you to say that, and you're getting paid all this money, millions of dollars, and the thing that you're going to do is say, "Oh well, if they're firing me, I'm just going to golf and collect the money." Like I wouldn't appreciate that if I was. A boss, cutting you a check every week. No,
but they still did. Because you have to remember, first of all, Saudi Arabia offered him a whole bunch of money to be a commentator for them, for their new golf thing. Offered him a shit ton of money. But the reason why he didn't go is because TNT one day offered him the money, and two because he likes working at TNT.
I know this is irrelevant, but do you know how much they offered him?
No. But the people at Saudi Arabia, they have money. The government, they have money. Trust me. You look at what they did with the PGA Tour. Half the golfers left for guaranteed money,
Mm-hmm.
and he easily could have done the same thing. So they offered him a contract because at the end of the day, this is what they get from authenticity. That's what they get from Charles Barkley. Whether you agree or disagree, you're getting authenticity. Now, regarding this whole thing about him being prideful and stuff like that, you clearly never heard this man speak during his days as a basketball player. Clearly, you never heard this man speak. He clearly has confidence in himself, and his career backs it up. He once bragged about throwing a guy off the window, and then when the judge asked him, "Oh, are you sorry about throwing the guy out the window?" He said, "No, I'm sorry that it wasn't from a higher floor." Because apparently the guy who he threw out the window threw ice at him, and he hit him back. Clearly, this dude has a high level of confidence in himself. He's been that way since he was a player.
That was the thing that you wanted to say so bad?
Yeah.
No.
You're talking about how he's now showing hubris and all the other stuff. He's been had that. That's why some of his opinions now, when it comes to some of these players, makes no sense to me. He's going on about these guys, doing this and doing that when he did a lot of the same stuff that they did. But at the end of the day, when it comes to this, I personally don't care. I don't care. And at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with what he said. Because at the end of the day, it's just a beer. Who cares? It's a beer that you don't drink. It's a beer that I don't drink. So why would I give a shit? I need the moral. I need my beer company, my beer, to be the authority on righteousness and stuff like that. Come on, are you serious? Just take it for what it is. Marketing. That's it. And if it blows up in their face, it blows up in their face. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna care. Because I'm not in there. I'm not a shareholder. I don't own stock from them. I don't care. At the end of the day, I'll give you the last word. I'll read some comments and then I'm trying to keep this heat because I have something that I want to rant about. Something I want to rant about.
Yeah,
so go ahead. What you gotta say?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, yes, you're right. Bud Light did, made their decision, but guess what? It still backfired on them.
Perfectly fine. I don't care.
It backfired on them, and they lost money. Same thing happened with Target, and they lost money. And look, and look, they could continue to do whatever they want, market however they want. But I'm telling you right now, when people continue to get fed up with all this stuff constantly being shoved into our faces, people are just no longer going to support you, and they have every right to not support you. If they don't want to put their money in something because of what they're constantly endorsing, then I am all for it because we don't support that type of lifestyle. We don't.
Okay.
And again, that's why it was very silly of you to compare that with Independence Day and all the other mumbo jumbo you was talking about. But at the end of the day, what Charles Barkley said and did was wrong. He was wrong for this. He was wrong for this.
As long as
to say F you to all of those people just for the sake of they didn't want to support a certain lifestyle. Now you want to start cursing at us? That I think he's wrong for that.
Okay.
He's absolutely wrong for that. So that's my last thing I want to say. And shame on Charles Barkley for saying this type of stuff. Shame on him for cursing at us, and shame on him if he's a Christian for giving them all of this support. Shame.
Okay. And as long as I can buy clothes, juice, and video games, I'll still continue to shop at Target. I don't care.
Juice.
Yeah. They have groceries in Target.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, they do.
All right, so Meadows said that Charles shouldn't tell people what to drink. Steve shouldn't tell,
Absolutely, exactly.
Steve shouldn't tell women what to do with their vagina.
I'm not telling what women what to do with their vaginas. I'm not.
Steve shouldn't tell people how
I'm
to
just
feel
telling
about the
them that
military.
I'm just saying that they shouldn't kill people. That's it. Randy.
Steve shouldn't tell people how to feel about the military.
Okay, Randy. All I said was that we should all be appreciative that we have the military to protect this country, that we have police officers to protect us, that we have the fire rescue to protect us, first responders to protect us. You know what I'm saying? So we should be more appreciative that they're there, because if they weren't there, we would be in major trouble, and you know that.
Joe channeling Will Smith saying, "Keep my name out your fucking mouth. I'm not in this, so I don't need you. I don't need to bring me in your shit."
No,
And
no, I'm not keeping my name out your mouth, because you do the exact same thing. So as I always said, you also like to curse whenever you're back in the corner. That's it.
Charles talking like Trump, I don't I don't get that. But regardless of
Um,
that,
well, I think what he's talking about is, how Trump will say a lot of bold crazy stuff, and I think he's just comparing them to two, which I actually agree with. Because when Trump talks, people think he's entertaining, and the same thing for Charles Barkley. Like, the stuff that he says is entertaining, and I don't know where you got this. Oh, he's a bad basketball analyst from. I don't know where you got that from, but
nah, he's
I
not
think he's
great.
right.
He's not a good best one. I'll stand by that. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Anyways, okay. While I am okay. So we're moving on, right? Since I'm now it's time for me to get my rant off. Okay, I'm just waiting for my computer acting slow. All right, okay, hold on. All right, you can hear me.
Yeah,
You can hear me.
yeah, I can hear. I can hear. You
Okay.
can't hear
All
me?
right.
Okay.
Anyways, okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Looks
Now,
like there's a delay.
here's
There's
the
a
thing.
delay.
I'm not going to read the article. There is. All right, don't worry. It'll get back to normal. Look, I'm not going to read the article because I don't care. I'm not watching this fight. I'm gonna tell you why I'm not watching this fight. At the end of the day, I am
Before you
tired.
say something, what can you at least read a
Oh,
little bit of
okay.
it so we
I'm
have an
sorry.
idea what it.
Of what it is. Okay. So here you have Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. They're gonna be fighting in Saudi Arabia, which is which is not surprising. So let's read the article. Tyson Fury, boxing's lineal heavyweight champion, and Francis Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champion, will fight October 28th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The announcement clarified that the fight will take place in a regulation boxing ring under boxing rules, including 3 ringside judges using a 10-point must system. Okay. Oh, wait, let me read this part. What remains unclear is the number of rounds, whether Fury WBC heavyweight title will be on the line, and whether the fight will count towards their professional boxing records. Okay, I'm done reading that. Now, I am tired of and I'm tired of these fights, these clown show fights. Because this is what this is. This is a clown show fight, and let me say this right now. I don't blame Francis in this. He's getting the money that he deserves. He's getting the money that the UFC would not give him. So he's gonna make a shit ton of money the same way that Conor made all that money when it comes to Floyd. I don't blame him in this. The person who I'm looking at right now is Tyson Fury. You are the lineal heavyweight champion in the world. In my opinion, I think he's the best heavyweight in the world right now. What are
Okay.
you doing fighting a guy who has no boxing experience? People just think because Francis hit hard that he can just go into a boxing ring and fight and just box. It's silly. I'm so sick and tired of these clown show fights. I am.
Mhm.
Because everyone knows that Francis has no shot in hell in a boxing match against Tyson Fury. He has no chance in hell. Boxing is not just about punching hard. It's not. And there is if there was anybody who is so elusive, especially for a guy his size, it's Tyson Fury. Now you have to remember, Francis is a big dude, 6'3", 250, 260, probably walks around bigger than that. People don't realize Tyson Fury is like 6'9".
Yeah.
He's a big dude. And for a guy his size, he's very elusive. Very decent defensive minded, like type of fighter.
Yeah, you wouldn't
He's
think you wouldn't think that way the way he looks. Like you would think he's like out of shape, but my goodness, the guy can move. Very agile
Absolutely.
for his size.
Absolutely. So why would I think for a second that Francis has a chance? He has no shot. There's no way in hell he's winning this fight. So why are we making the fight? You have Alexander Usyk, who is the other world champion, but yeah, you guys couldn't get a deal done for that fight. You always had the dream fight with Joshua, but you couldn't get that. But we couldn't get that fight. So you're just gonna fight a dude with no boxing experience. So you're gonna get a payday.
You said Alexander's the WBO champion.
No, Alexander Usyk. I think he holds the other titles. I think he holds the other 3 titles, but Tyson has 1. I think Usyk has 3.
Oh, okay.
But
I thought Daniel hold the other one. I thought Daniel holds the WBA title.
Daniel who?
Daniel Dubious, I think his name is. I thought he hold the WBA title or the interim. I think it was. Does he hold the interim?
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, correct me.
With boxing, you never know.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could have sworn that Alexander that you mentioned. I think Daniel holds one, and I think Zhang holds the other one. I think.
Let me see if I can find the.
But again, like it's just so many belts and so many divisions. Like it's hard to keep up with what's going on. So
it's hard to keep count. But we know who are the 2 top heavyweight boxers right now is Fury and Usyk, and we're not getting that fight. And I think a lot of it has to do with Tyson Fury.
You think Tyson Fury's afraid of him?
A lot of it has to do with him. But like, bro, you're taking the clown fight. Usyk, he's willing to fight you. He's willing to fight you. Okay. Let me share this. Okay.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the heavyweight, Usyk has 3 of the 4 major titles: WBA, IBF, and WBO. Fury has the. You can't. Oh, you're not showing? Oh, no. My bad. All right. Oh, hold on. I apologize. Hold on. Let me. Yeah, I don't know why it went out. Hold on. Let me put this out there. Let me see. Okay. You can see it now?
Okay, now I can, yeah.
Okay. All right, so Usyk has the WBA, IBF, and WBO championship. Tyson had the WBC. Okay, so and now knowing how convoluted this is, Daniel Dubious, the guy who you mentioned, he had the lesser WBA regular belt.
What the hell does that mean? What? Are you kidding me, man?
And here's the thing: the guy I never heard of,
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I mentioned. Also, yeah.
Okay, he had the lesser WBO interim belt.
Okay, so
Like,
I made a mistake. That my fault. My fault, everybody. I made a
no,
mistake because I thought.
I don't blame you because look, this shit's confusing. This shit's confusing. What do you get for having a lesser? What do you get for having a lesser WBA belt? What did that mean?
I have no idea what that means.
And they have regular in quotation marks. You have regular in quotation marks. Like, come on, bro. Like, seriously. This is silly.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, we know who the top two heavyweights are. It's Usyk and Fury. Why aren't we seeing that fight? For Francis, I totally get it. I totally understand.
But Hoovy. I have to stop you right there though, because you had also mentioned, because we talked about this way before. Now again, like I mentioned before, when it comes to like all these exhibition fights, I know you said maybe that doesn't necessarily count because people are just there to make money. I remember you mentioned that, but you did say that you knew that Conor McGregor would stand no chance against Floyd Mayweather. Absolutely. Like I remember you said that. That's just for the money. That's just for the money also.
Yeah,
that's absolutely. Just for, okay. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so
I don't blame Conor for that.
Okay, but since it's just for the money, and then when it comes to Francis, that's just for the money. Do you see why I said that boxing is a joke? Now do you believe me when I said that boxing is a complete joke now?
I never disagree with you. In fact, I said that boxing has been a joke long before this type of stuff is going on. Why? Because of shit like this. Like we have 4 different titles, and trust me, there's more than that. There's definitely more than that. But yet we have a guy who owns a lesser version of a regular belt. I don't know what that means. And this guy has a lesser version of an interim belt. Of a belt that is owned, that already has an owner. Like he's not hurt. Like to my knowledge, he's not hurt. Or
I thought he was, because when I found out that we had other 2 guys who had titles, I was just on the assumption that he was hurt or he was suspended. I should have just done my due diligence to do more research of why we have other 2 champions when it comes to that. So I thought we had a total of 4 guys having 4 titles to 4 guys. So I'm just as confused as you are. But once again, it just constantly, all this confusion, all these stupid exhibition fights, all these fights when it comes to they're all a joke. Now they could all be entertaining, yes, but we all know at the end of the day those fights don't really mean anything, because you're not fighting actual boxers. You're not fighting actual boxers. So the whole thing with Floyd and Conor McGregor, and now this one that's coming up now, are they legitimate fights? Okay, fine. But at the end of the day, they may not be exhibition fights, but they still don't mean anything, because we know that those guys don't box. They don't box. So why are you wasting my time putting this fight when you have Alexander Usyk, who's also a champion? Why aren't you trying to promote that fight? That's the fight that's the fight that people should go crazy to go and see. That's the fight that people care about. But no. You have a guy, and look, you say you don't blame Francis, but at the end of the day, though, Francis he doesn't stand a chance. This is just a money grab for him.
I mean, no, athletes are always going to be delusional when it comes to that. Like he's gonna think that he has a chance, and
really,
yeah, he's absolutely gonna think that. He's absolutely gonna think that. He's always gonna think he has a chance. I don't think he has a chance, because I don't think a guy who's a pure boxer is gonna like, he'll probably take it easy on him, which is likely gonna happen.
Oh gosh.
But at the end of the day, Francis has no shot. He has no chance. You know, he
Yeah,
has
he
no.
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have a chance. And look, I'm gonna do more. I have to do some more digging because I don't understand. I still don't understand what that means. Lesser WBA belt and a lesser, like, an interim belt. From last time I checked, isn't that like a substitution, type of belt
I,
to a degree? Like
interim, yeah, interim is supposed to be the title is a title that that like you're pretty much it's a pretty much a substitute belt until the guy
yes,
comes in and then you can do the undisputed bout thing. It's pretty much a marketing thing.
correct. Yeah. So what the hell is a lesser interim belt? What does
I
that mean?
I have no idea, bro.
It's a substitute already. So now you have something that is lesser than the substitute? What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue. Like I said, I don't blame Francis because Francis is gonna make a lot of money out of this, and this is what this is what he wants. It is what it is. I'm looking squarely at Tyson Fury because he's the guy who who like I wouldn't say he's dodging the Joshua fight, but he's absolutely dodging the Usyk fight. I don't care what anyone says,
Mm-hmm.
and I get it. Like the Francis thing may garner more money, or I don't even think that's true. But I honestly I really don't even know if that's true. At the end of the day, everybody wants to see you fight Usyk to be the undisputed heavyweight champion.
Yes.
That's what we all want. And this pre-show fights are not interesting to me because there's no chance, in my opinion, that Francis has in winning. So it takes all of the thrill away from watching the fight. It's part of the reason why I wasn't thrilled about watching Conor and Floyd, even though I probably should have gone with you guys. I knew he had no shot of beating Floyd.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's really all I gotta say.
How much is Francis going to be getting? Do you know?
No, it's not known yet. But listen, it's gonna be in Saudi Arabia, so it's gonna be a lot of money. It's
Okay,
gonna
so
be a lot of money.
okay, so he's going to be getting a lot of money. Um, okay, so so it looks like you're not really pissed off with both fighters. You made it clear that you're only pissed off with Fury only.
Yeah. Because he's the one, like him and his team, always coming up with excuses as to why they don't want to fight Usyk. The same thing that Floyd Mayweather did when he was fighting, when everybody knew they wanted to see him and Pacquiao. That's what we wanted to see for years. When Pacquiao was out dominating, and Floyd was out there dominating, we wanted to see that fight, but it was always coming from Floyd why we didn't get that fight. It was always coming from his end.
Yep.
And when we got the fight, it was Pacquiao already been knocked out severely by Marquez for the in their fourth fight. So like, even though we all watched it, it wasn't the fight it should have been years earlier.
Yeah, and then I think he lose the fight after that also. Then he lose to Timothy
Bradley, yeah. And that fight was a sham also. That fight was a fucking sham also. One, he didn't win the fight. Yeah. And come to find out, he was Timothy Bradley was already promoting the second fight before the first fight. Tell you, man, boxing is a joke. I don't disagree with you. I think that it's been a joke for a lot longer than you think it's been.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and what irritated me also is that when he had lost that fight to Timothy Bradley, even though I thought that Pacquiao won that fight too, but at the end of the day though, it just made it less exciting, or I just really didn't care. I just had this nonchalant type of attitude when it comes to Floyd and Pacquiao, because you had Pacquiao losing a couple of fights now. So what's the incentive? Like it would have been so much better that you see two guys at the top of their peak, just killing everybody, dominating boxing, and then you have those two go head to head with one another. But then once he got knocked out and losing to Timothy Bradley, it's like, well, I mean, what's the point now? Like, what is the point? So I understand when you said that that boxing was been the joke. So I'll just say that it's even worse of a joke now. It's even worse because it seems like instead of having fights that we all want to see, they're being substituted with with fighters who don't even box. That's what makes it even worse. Like it'll be one thing. Like okay, just for example, I know you wouldn't want to see this either. What's that dude name? Go back up real quick.
Oh, let me go up. Hold on. Oh, it's wrong, bro. Tell me when to stop.
Yeah, keep going. Stop. Okay. Those two guys who's whatever those two two belts mean.
Yeah,
now let's say
saying,
so let's say Fury was going to fight Daniel. You just as an example, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't want to see that fight, but that fight would still have make more sense than him fighting Francis.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, this makes it even worse because you are fighting somebody who is not a boxer at all. So instead of giving us Fury versus Usyk, you're giving us a substitute fight of him fighting Francis? Come on, man. Like, come on, man. I'm not watching the fight. I don't know if you're going to watch the fight now that you told me about this, but I'm not watching the fight. Are you going to watch?
I don't see myself watching the fight. I gotta be real true. I don't see it. Cause I'm just over it, man. Like I'm just over it. Cause I just don't. I'm just not interested. Cause there's no intrigue when it comes to it. There has to be some level of intrigue when it comes to a fight like this, right? Cause again, we all know that the free show fights are a thing. I know that Jake Paul. I think his next fight is supposed to be against Nate Diaz.
Are you gonna watch that one?
I mean, that one has at least a little bit of intrigue because, like I said, because Nick Diaz, I'm not, was it Nick or Nate? Nate has some boxing experience at least, and I think. But the thing is, I don't know for a fact if there was any type of rule in place in the contract where they would have, like Nate take a dive. I have no idea. I have no clue if there was a thing where they can do all this talking and shit like that, and then for an extra $2 million he takes a dive for Jake Paul. I have no clue because I don't trust these types of fights.
Yeah,
but that fight is more intriguing because when it comes to boxing, they should be at the same level.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It's not the same as this one because one has boxing experience, the other one doesn't. I see what you're saying.
Exactly. At least that one has more intrigue. This fight has no intrigue for me. And like I said earlier, and we can move on because I do have to go to work, but I'm kind of like my stomach been killing me all day. I don't like so I don't want to get too deep into it, but I do have to go to work. But I already told her I'm going to be late.
Okay.
But so we can end it after, obviously we can end this topic. But
I'm done. I'm done.
There's no intrigue to this fight. There really isn't. There really is no intrigue to this fight. So I'm not interested. I can't say for sure if I'm going to watch it or not. Right now is a no. Right now it's a no, but I don't know if that's gonna change in I don't know if it's gonna change over time. But as of right now, it's a no.
Okay.
So let me read some Joe, I'm not reading your comments, all right? So whatever issue you have, you can talk to me tomorrow, okay? But all right, so Ruben said that I see it, lesser. Bro, you're asking all the same questions that I'm asking. Lesser, how? I'm guessing they're referring to the interim belt. I mean, they already have an interim belt there. They have one there. You know what I mean? But you tell me that this guy is a what was it? Let me read that he holds the lesser WBA regular belt. I don't know what that means. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And he said that this might as well be Fury versus Braun Strowman. Yeah, like yeah, he did a wrestling match with Braun Strowman a couple years ago in Saudi Arabia of all places for WWE, and that shit was garbage. But like I say, did it for a paycheck. And
Yeah,
guys are gonna do things like this for a paycheck. So
yeah.
I can't. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Holy crap, man. Dude, my stomach is killing me, bro.
Well, what, killing you as in you're sick?
Yeah, I think I'm coming down with something. But my manager, she's been cooking all day. She's been cooking all day, and I find it so stupid that we don't have we don't have someone to cover that shift. It's so dumb.
Wait, she's been cooking all day, and
Yeah,
what happened to the cook that you always talk about, the one that irritates you? What happened to
he
him?
got fired. Naturally, he got fired. But
Oh gosh. Okay.
yeah, we'll talk. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk about that later. We can get to the let's get to the Disney thing.
All right. I'm not gonna go too long, with the Disney thing, but let's see. Okay, where are we? Yeah, Disney. Ryan.
No, trust me. Right now, I think I'd rather have COVID. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'd rather have COVID than what I have right now.
Okay, so here we are. Disney CEO considers selling ESPN equity stake. Man, when I heard this news, I was just like, wait a minute. So let's see what's going on now with Disney. So Disney is open to selling a portion of equity in ESPN to a strategic partner. CEO Bob Leger said in an interview with CNBC. In addition to selling the stake in ESPN, Leger said he's open to selling or spinning off Disney other linear TV networks, including ABC, FX, National Geographic, and Freeform. Yeah, that's a lot of TV networks.
Mhm.
Um, get out of here. Liger returned to run Disney last year after stepping down as CEO in 2020. On Wednesday, Disney announced his contract extension through 2026, but the extension arrived as cable subscription numbers continue to drop, and the company has planned layoffs to 7,000 people, with many high profile ESPN employees affected. The challenges are greater than I anticipated, Liger said. The disruption of the traditional TV business is most notable. If anything, the disruption of that business has happened to a greater extent than even I was aware. Liger added that Disney has held early
It's Iger.
conversations.
It's Iger.
Oh, okay, Iger. Um, Added that Disney has held early conversations with potential partners that could improve ESPN streaming service by extending its distribution and adding content. Disney already operates the ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu streaming services. Disney owns 80% of ESPN. The remaining 20 is owned by Harris Communications. Okay, let me see. Okay, all right. This is very interesting because what I thought was going to happen was that like, okay, obviously, they laid off a whole bunch of people, this and that,
Mhm.
laid all these people off or whatnot.
Yeah, in
And
every department, in every entity they have, like ESPN dealt with layoffs. I'm sure that their other entities dealt with layoffs also.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I also found out that a lot of people has been unsubscribing to Disney Plus. They've been unsubscribing to Disney Plus. Pretty much all of this streaming service that Disney have. people have just been leaving these services, which very, okay. The reason why that really boggles my mind is because I remember you, and not just you, but a lot of people were saying how these streaming services, are taking over. That's why people don't go to these movie theaters anymore, etc., etc. But people are leaving these streaming services. I think they were like close to like almost a billion. Like I think they almost lost. I think a billion. I have to go back and look, but I think it's close to like a
You gotta
billion
look at
dollars.
okay, $1 billion. Okay, that makes more sense.
What happened?
Because I thought you were gonna say a billion subscribers, and I doubt that. I doubt that happened. But
No,
you
no, no,
said
no,
dollar.
no, no.
You said dollar. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like they've lost so much freaking money when it comes to their streaming services. Now, Hoovy, you always hate when I said this, but so instead of me just saying it, I'm just going to ask you one quick question. Then,
Mm.
you don't think them constantly being woke has anything to do with this whatsoever? Like, not even a small percentage.
No,
You don't think that has you think it's 0% anything to do with everything that's the agenda that they've been pushing in recent past. You think that has nothing to do with it whatsoever?
no.
Okay, why do you think people are leaving their platform?
First, I don't know if they're leaving the platform or not. I don't know. I don't have. You have to give me the numbers to that.
Okay.
Also, I think because this actually has a lot to do with the last topic we have, and I'll tell you why. You have a company in Disney who decided, we're just gonna buy everything. But we bought The Simpsons, we bought we bought ESPN, obviously. I think they've been on ESPN. I don't remember when they bought them, but I know they bought Fox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they bought Fox. They bought all their properties. They bought Star Wars. They bought Marvel. And they have a lot of things in their portfolio that costs money, lots and lots of money. And when you have that, and like I said, I don't think the quality of the shows are. Look, I'm not gonna say that the quality of it is not a reason. 'Cause I do think it's part of the reason. I do think the quality of the shows are hurting. I think when it comes, like, it does depend on what you're talking about. If you're talking about Marvel, it could be the woke stuff. It could be I don't know, but
Wait. So now you're considering that it could be.
yeah, it could be. But I can tell this right now as someone who watched the Marvel stuff, who don't watch it anymore. Like that stuff, like a lot of that stuff gets old. I got bored of it. It's not interesting. It just isn't.
Let's be real here. You didn't really care about the previous Marvel stuff either.
I watched it. I watched a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff and then I just dropped it because it just to me. I think superhero fatigue is a thing. I also think that them abusing, all this other stuff when it comes to Star Wars, which they've overdone, Marvel, which they've overdone. I think that also plays a part into it, and I also think that it's very hard for a company to buy all these fucking properties and all the other stuff and then manage them correctly. I just think that it's too much. Is why that is why mergers are frowned upon for the most part when it comes to this country in the business, because when you bring these mergers, yeah, you add to your portfolio, but you also have a bunch of stuff that you have to look into. It's not just, hey, we just bought it for 10 million and that's it. No, there are people who work there who you have to pay if you want to
Mm-hmm.
keep them. You have all these properties where you're like, okay, well, let's see if we can get someone to do this. Let's see if we can get someone to do that. And if it's not good, then you get someone. Like some people are gonna ask, okay, why is this not good? Why is it like this? Why is Indiana Jones? Why did Indiana Jones flop? You know what I'm saying? Like it's always like you always have to ask these questions, and I don't think it. I think you think it's more simple as oh well, you know the woke stuff and all the other stuff. I think it's a lot deeper than that. I think it's a lot deeper than that.
I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination because let's just be real. A lot of these movies just haven't really been good.
Yeah, and
That, that
that has nothing and that has nothing to do with woke culture at all. It had nothing to do with it. That it just a lot of these movies simply are not good. And we've also talked about this on in private chat that I feel like a lot of these superhero movies the special effects are fucking trash. Fucking trash. I just saw a clip from the Flash, and I get it, not the same, but like I saw a clip from from that Flash movie.
mhm.
Fucking the special effects are horrendous.
Yeah,
They're not good. And I look at a movie like and I was watching they were showing clips of the Dark Knight because the Dark Knight came out 15 years ago today,
hmm
and you look at the action in that movie and how great it was,
yeah,
and you're not getting that type of cinema. You're not getting that type of cinema right now, especially when it comes to the hero movies. You're not getting that. And I get it. Dark Knight's a different thing, is more grounded in reality. I get it, but that stuff. That's the type of stuff I want to see. That's the type of stuff I want to see. I don't want to see three versions of the same stupid fucking hero teaming up to do some stuff that I don't care about. I
yeah.
don't care.
But yeah, but even with all of that, that you have mentioned and saying because I even said um to a couple of people, is it really superhero fatigue? Is that the problem? And you remember Chris Gore, right? You remember Chris Gore from he used to be in G4.
Yeah. I remember him.
Oh, okay, I remember him giving a really good example of sometimes you need a what did he say? Like I think he said something about you need a movie depending on the genre, like you need some type of break, like you need like a movie break. So for example, if all you did was watch horror movies for the past month, it'll be beneficial for you to
Take a
break
break.
it up and try to watch maybe whether if it's a kids movie or maybe a comedy movie. Like it's not good for your psyche to just constantly consume horror movies all the time.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for superhero movies. If all you're going to be doing is just watch superhero movie after superhero movie after superhero movie, eventually it starts to get stale. Even if the movie is good, people will eventually just get tired of constantly watching all these superhero movies, and then you're putting them in all these series. You're putting them in these cartoons. You had all the what if stuff. Like it's just constant superhero after superhero. And the reason why I mentioned the woke stuff is because there's been a lot of conservatives, and Christians who actually went on social media saying that they are canceling their subscriptions with Disney Plus, and that people are even not even going to the theme parks because they feel now a lot of the stuff that they show to their kids are constantly in question. Oh, I have to question this. I understand that you try to represent, but everything is constantly about sexuality or race changes, and people are getting really fed up with that, so they just stop supporting Disney. And in addition to that, you and I had this conversation before. The fact that Mario and Sonic has done so well, and we seeing that all these superhero movies has been doing poorly, I don't think 100% of it is actually superhero fatigue. Now, if you don't think Mario and Sonic are considered superheroes, then I would like to hear your thoughts on that. But
Uh,
I
Give me a
consider them as heroes. What happened?
keep talking. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah, I consider Mario and Sonic as heroes. I do, or superheroes. So to speak. Now, you could say, well, they're not on par, with Superman or Spider Man. Like I could understand why it's hard for you to compare them, with a DC or a Marvel hero. But to me, I still think it falls somewhat under the same line. You know what I mean? So how is it that those movies could do so well, but yet you have all these other Marvel and DC movies, doing so poorly? I honestly think a lot of the woke stuff has something to do with it to some degree, or with the character changes. A lot of people have been complaining about it, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Like, how is it that you have all these people complaining, and then we mentioned Bud Light and Target, just a few moments ago. I think all of this stuff relates. All of this stuff is relatable. I think when you put everything together, when you compile all this information, the common denominator is they're just being woke too much. And with that being said, if people are going to leave because of it, it's all Disney's fault at the end of the day. You can't sit here and tell me, well, how is it that you guys are doing so bad, but these movies over here are doing so well? It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially if they're under the same genre. It doesn't make sense. Are you there? Okay, Hoovie's gone. I'm gonna read this real quick. Let me see what it says. It says, but I believe that everyone should be able to believe and practice what they choose, and in an alignment right. In fact, one of the articles of faith in my church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, states that we claim the privilege of worshiping the Almighty God according to the to our own conscience, and allow all men the same privilege. Let them worship how they want or how they may. I believe that we don't get to choose, who we love, the attraction, and everything is neutral. Now, this is pretty much what I'm reading is um hold on, neutral. However, I don't believe this sort of thing needs to be a major plot. Okay, yeah, a major plot point of children's movies. I do not want race nor sexual theory to be brought up in
Well,
these movies.
what are you reading?
This article of what a lot of people have been saying about the Disney characters. So what they're saying here is that they don't want these movies to teach. Hold on, let me read it. I want these movies to teach everyone that they are brought more together by our similarities than we are separated by our differences. I want to be in a full control of the type of message that are being put in front of my children, to give themselves a firm foundation to make their own decisions when they become adults. So again, if people are going to constantly complain about whatever Disney, because again, at the end of the day, this is Disney's property. They could do whatever they want. Understood. But at the end of the day, you are still serving the people. And if the people do not like what you're doing, if the fans do not like what you're doing, and they decide to back out and no longer go to your parks, no longer subscribe to your services and go to your movies, this is all Disney's fault. All of that is all Disney, 100% Disney's fault. And with the combination of movies are not good, with the combination of superhero fatigue, like, come on, like Disney needs to start making the change. But here's the problem: the changes that they are making, that doesn't mean that all of their staff or employee is going to be there when they make those changes. Obviously, what we've seen with ESPN, you know what I'm saying? So to me, they're just gonna have to downsize. They're just gonna have to continue to downside all the way across the board, not just with ESPN, but with everything. Because if people,
I feel like they've already done that, haven't they?
what happened
I feel like they've already done that.
with everywhere?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like they've done that.
Oh wow, okay. If they I didn't see any articles stating that they have downsized on everything. I thought it was just
I mean,
ESPN and some of the network.
ESPN obviously because their business is personality driven, right? They have people faces on there. Like when it comes to like Marvel or whatever, like you need the actors there. You need the actors there to do their job, right? But these ESPN personalities, a lot of them been there for a long time, and they figured, okay, we're just going to downsize, and it's the easiest one to downsize.
ESPN.
Yeah, it's the easiest one to downsize.
I'm going to. Do you? Okay, no. Let me ask you. I'm not going to make the prediction. Do you think they should start selling assets?
Um, Actually, I think they should.
Oof.
I actually think they should. Cause like I said before, when you have a company, when you have a big company like that, and you have all these tentacles, you have all these things in these different places. There, it's very hard to manage all of it. It's very hard to manage all of it. Like I said, we're gonna talk about that in the next in our last topic. But I feel like that type of stuff is hard to manage all of that.
Hmm.
And then you have a situation where you have this side here, they're making a movie that makes no sense. They have this movie who's doing something that a lot of people don't like. And the thing, to me, I think the thing when it comes to the woke stuff that you talk about, I don't think is the woke stuff. I don't think bothers me as much as it's kind of like a company who is. You have a company like Disney telling you, you know, trying to send messages about equality and all the other stuff when their track record goes against that. Where they're trying to tell you, oh, this person this person that. We're trying to, you mentioned all the race changes and all the other stuff, and they're trying to virtue signal, and I don't need my virtue signaling from a company who I know for a fact does not care. They don't care. We know they don't care.
Yeah, but remember, because I remember you had posted an article about the Little Mermaid, and then I had said later on I said watch the movie is not going to do well, and it hasn't. The movie did
Well,
poorly overall.
it did poorly overseas. I think it did. I think it did well here. I think it did poorly overseas. But
Mhm.
even with all that, right? I think this is why, in my opinion, why you don't let major corporations merge with each other. At least you don't get one major company buying everything. So there's no way you could one person or even a few people can manage all of that.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can. And the reason why they did that was because they were gonna have a subscription service. Tell me if this sounds familiar. They bought this because they had a subscription service that they needed content for.
Hmm.
So it's very easy to fill up the content with a bunch of stuff, in it. And frankly, a lot of it don't have to be good as long as it's content.
Yeah.
As long as you like it or what, as long as you subscribe, then boom, they got your money. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I forgot. Um, yeah, damn, I forgot. I mean, you can have the last word. If I remember, then I'll let you know. Oh, actually,
Yeah.
hold on. Wait,
Go
hold on.
ahead.
Let's recomment. Let's recomment. 'Cause I think I saw something that I think I saw something here somewhere. Like Ryan Meadows said that there is superhero fatigue every 4 months. Some new Marvel movies coming out. And oh yeah, now I remember what I was gonna say. Personally, when it comes to the superhero movies, right now, yes, I don't know if you count Sonic as one or Mario as one or whatever, but I think what we're seeing right now, is the other shoe dropping when it comes to superhero movies. Remember, Spider-Man 1 started all of this because before then, superhero movies were a joke. They were a joke.
Yeah.
A lot of them were not good. I remember watching Spawn. That movie sucked. There was one Superman movie that I watched that was not good.
Which
And then
one?
I think that's the one with Brendan Roth on it. That Superman. Yeah, that movie sucked.
Wait, Superman Returns?
I don't know if it was Super. I don't remember. It might have been Superman Returns.
No, I thought the movie was okay. But all
Nah,
right, go
that
ahead.
movie sucked. It definitely wasn't Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I think, was a very good movie.
I think you're talking about Superman Return, the one where the bullet went to his eye, and then
Yeah,
and yeah, that was Superman Return.
yeah, that movie sucked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought the
but
movie was
like,
fine.
yeah, but
But yeah,
but
but you also had Blade. You know that one was really good.
yeah, it was fine. But it wasn't like a major. It wasn't a major hit. It was good. It was good. It had 3 sequels. The last movie I don't think was very good.
Yeah, the last one was garbage.
Yeah, but but then it became the it thing in Hollywood to do a superhero movie. After Spider-Man, it became
Yes.
the hit thing. And over time, trends like one way or another always falter at the end of the day. They always we saw it in wrestling. Wrestling during our time when we were younger, when we were a teenager, wrestling was the hot thing. Was the hottest thing one of the hottest thing going right now for us.
Yeah.
Ratings through the roof and all that jazz. Now it's not that way anymore. And I would argue that the wrestling in general is better now than it was back then, but a lot less people watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just not the hot thing anymore. Sometimes the trends tend to have a beginning, an apex, and then you have a decline. Now it could bounce back, but right now you're seeing the decline. You're seeing the decline because at the end of the day, it's very hard to maintain this. Look at the Marvel for example. It's very hard to have that keep going higher and higher and higher. At some point, there's going to be a decline.
Yeah.
Because when you have guys who, like, you look at guys like Robert Downey Jr. who retired as Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
You got Chris Evans who retired as Captain America. Right, and then you have all these new heroes that are coming out, and like I know you know a lot of these heroes, but a lot of other people don't. And remember, at the end of the day, I know Rudolphi said this, and let me mention this. He said that my issue with Disney is the family aspect. Every movie, I want my Marvel films rated R. I understand that, but that's not going to get you a whole bunch of. That's not going to get you an audience. That's not going to get you a massive audience. What's going to get you the massive audience is what they were doing prior, with Spider-Man and up to that point. Like they want, because remember all the merchandise, all that stuff. A lot of that is sold to kids. It's sold for kids. That's why you have the Iron Man backpack and all the other stuff. Like that stuff is catered to the kids. That's their target audience. Yeah, you always have you'll have the occasional movie like the original Deadpool or Logan, who's rated R but it's fantastic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Or that are fantastic, but those movies are few and far between because at the end of the day, those movies don't make money. At the end of the day, at least they don't make the type of money that the special effects warrant. What the
Hold on, let me look for these keys. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, so Rudolph, like I was saying, like they want that big boy money. That's what they want. They want that mommy and daddy money. That's what they want. I don't think they want, like you said before, they have these movies and they want kids to be a big part of that. One they'll grow, those kids will grow up and hopefully for their sake they'll grow up still being being fans of those movies, and then they'll take their kids to the same movies. You know what I mean? Like it's just how it is. I don't want to read any comments before Steve gets back. I don't know what he did when I was gone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I had to, bro. My stomach killing me, man. I had to drop him, bro. And I'm still hurting. I'm still hurting. I hate to give you guys all that information, but I'm still hurting, man. So, but I feel like
You said you still hurt. What about what?
my stomach's still hurting.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
um, but yeah, like if you like, I'm not gonna read this, but I just wanted to show you real quick. I'm just gonna highlight it for you,
Okay, I got you. I got you.
where it says Disney hasn't quite. Let me see. Ahead of Walt Disney quarterly, company revealed that Disney had lost 4 million subscribers. The number marked to continue to decline for the streaming have lost 2.4 million in the last quarter of 2022. Oh, this is an older article. The larger chunk of subscriber losses
Wait,
this
what
time
you, wait. Let me put this in full screen. Hold on. How many subscribers did they lose?
4 million.
Let me
And the
see.
numbers mark a continued decline for the streamers having lost 2.4 million in the last quarter of 2022.
So that's pretty much what like November, December. So it may be old, but it's not that old.
Yeah.
And 4 million subscribers is not little.
No.
That's not good.
No, that's terrible. That's awful. And let me skip this. It says, meanwhile, Disney owns streaming services Hulu, ESPN subscribers numbers have remained strong. The former gaining 200,000 subs, and latter gaining 400,000. Eager also announced a plan to make Hulu content available on Disney Plus. Let me see if there's anything else important. Okay, there's nothing else important. Let me see if I could find the last one real quick.
But I'll tell you this straight up. Hulu is the best app they have. Between those three, Hulu is the best one by far. And I have all three. I have it in a bundle. And Hulu is easily the best one.
Oh, Hulu is.
hmm
Hmm.
I was watching this a Christmas movie on it yesterday. No, not yesterday. It was yesterday. It was yesterday. I watched
Okay,
it.
this is the one. This is the one where I was talking about almost a billion. Okay.
But
So
you want to know what that Christmas movie I was watching?
Die Hard.
You know it so well.
Yeah. Um. So Disney faces 900 million in losses after major box office disappointments. So I'm just gonna read just this first part. Disney is facing a massive losses even after a summer full of big releases. According to box office analyst Vigilant Renegade, Walt Disney has lost nearly 900 million, so practically nearly $1 billion,
hmm
following its last 8 studio releases, including box office flops like Lightyear. Now, and I told you this was going to happen when you and I had that argument about Chris Evans. I remember you and I had that argument,
hmm
but because remember, I think when Toy Story 4 came out, didn't that movie come out like 2019, 2020?
I don't remember.
I think 2019 or 20, and Lightyear just came out just 2 years after
hmm
2022 last year, and it didn't make any money.
Yeah, 'cause it was 'cause
Uh,
it, 'cause it was a movie about a guy, and it wasn't Toy Story. They thought that it was gonna transcend, and it didn't. It simply didn't. Like look, I also think that streaming absolutely has had an effect on movie theater business and vice versa.
yeah, but people leaving the streaming business though.
Yeah, true. But the thing is that I think it's hurt movie theaters also. I think people have an expectation when it comes to certain things, and those expectations are not being met.
Hmm.
I think they're not being met. Like you go to the movie theater for this big experience, but would you really go to a movie theater if you can just watch the movie streaming?
I will always prefer to movie theaters.
Understand,
So
but not a lot of people aren't that way. And now also, it's important to note that if a movie look in a movie theater, it's a lot harder to walk out of a movie theater than just to go on stream and just shut off the movie if it sucks. It's a lot harder to just walk out of a movie because, like you said, you might have gone with somebody, or like you feel like I watched it, so I paid for it, so I have to watch it. When it comes to streaming, if a movie sucks, then they're just gonna just turn that shit off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as the content there, a lot of people just don't care about they don't care about they, I think these companies for the most part don't seem to care about the quality. And if they want quality in their movie, it's gonna cost them money, and I feel like it's money that they don't want to spend. So it's like a chicken and the egg situation where they probably don't want to spend the money, but they also like there's a reason why you have 400,000 people leaving your streaming service.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so this is the last part I'm just going to read. So both Lightyear and Strange failed to find their footing with audiences and failed at the box office. Lightyear made 226 million off of the 200 million budget, while Strange World majority flop, making 70 million off of 180 million budget. My goodness. Um, and let's see. No, I guess I guess we're good now. So yeah, so yeah, they're losing to make yeah. So they're just constantly losing money all over the place. They're just losing money all over the place, and I think in my opinion, like in order for them to get the audience back, they just need to do what they did originally. Just make good movies. Make sure that you're good. Make sure that the promotions are good, and stop being freaking woke all the time. And I also believe that we I think people do need a little bit of a break of all the superhero movies. I think not it doesn't have to be like a full year to go by. When I just mean like in a couple months at a time. I don't think it should be 4 months like Ruben said, but just a few months at a time. Like don't just constantly shove movie after movie after movie back to back to back. Like give people time to reflect.
I personally think that the superhero fad is over. We're on the downcline. We're on the downside of that. We're on the decline of that. I think that part's over.
Okay, so you think it's superhero? You think it's superhero fatigue?
It could be that. It definitely could be that, but I think it's just that people don't care as much for superhero movies anymore.
Well, I wouldn't go as far as they don't care. I just don't think they just been as good as the first phase of the movie, like with Thanos and Guardians of the Galaxy and all these other movies.
Understood, but
They just haven't been as good as that.
but
They reached a really high peak. They just weren't able to sustain it.
yeah, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to either continue the story or reboot it, and I think people don't want either. I think they want people to continue, but there's nothing to continue. There's literally nothing to continue.
Well, I mean, the contract is over, and when people because when I heard a lot of people didn't like the fact that like Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. Pretty much had left, despite the fact that despite because in the comics, Falcon he became Captain America in the comics anyway.
Yeah.
But from what I gather, a lot of people just don't like him as much as Chris Evans. And look, I understand that. Like I get it because you and I had this discussion before how people love certain characters, and then when you make a character change, they're probably not going to support it. But I don't think that's like the main issue. I just honestly think that the movies just hasn't been good. If you think it's superhero fatigue, I understand that too.
But you
But I think overall the movie just wasn't good. The movies
but
were just not good.
they didn't make a movie with Falcon, and remember they had Falcon and Winter Soldier on
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Hmm.
They did that on Disney Plus. They did. I know Shang-Chi was it in theater or was it on Disney Plus?
It was on theater.
Theater, okay. So they did that, and plus you also have to take into account. I think COVID had a lot to do with what their problems are right now. Also,
You think so?
yeah, I think COVID had a lot to do with their issues. Also,
Now though?
not now, but like
Oh,
during
okay.
that time.
Okay.
During that time.
All right. Well, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, man. All right. So you have the article when it comes to Microsoft, but I'll kind of fill in the blanks as to what happened.
Do you want to read the last few comments or no?
Oh yeah, yeah. My bad, my bad. At this point, no, there's no. What's going on, Nolan? How you doing? He said that at this point, movies are not making any money. No, they're not. And I don't know if you've seen this, but obviously, they had the writers' strike. I don't know if you know about that, but I think the actors now went on strike.
The actors went on strike.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I honestly I have no idea. Well, no, 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 no. I don't know specifically, but I know that streaming that when it comes to money, when it comes to streaming, has a lot to do with that. Had a hell of a lot to do with that. Cause look at what happened with the Wonder Woman movie. Not Wonder Woman. What's that movie called? Black Widow. With the Black Widow movie.
Oh, you're talking about Scarlett.
Yeah.
Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, and she had a lot of her problems had to do with the fact that this thing was going to stream instead of going to the movie theater. Because it affected her money. It affected her bottom line.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to. I'm telling you, man, the streaming stuff has a lot to do with all the issues that they're dealing with right now.
Which is stupid on Disney's part anyway. Because why? Wouldn't it be smart for you to make sure that you maximize your dollars in the movie theater? Because you could put on your streaming service at any time you want. Why does it have to be at the exact same time as simultaneously while it's out on theater? I think that's so stupid on Disney to do that in the first place. Like, why it's like you compete against your own self. Like, why would you do that?
It's just how it is, man. Because you have different things. You have the movie theater industry that's struggling, and you have streaming, which is it's got its thing going, and then it's a mess. And that's what happens when new technology is introduced. Things happen. And I remember a long time ago, and I know it's a little bit off topic, but I remember a long time ago when the WWE Network came out was started. A lot of wrestlers or one wrestler questioned, well, how is our pay per view payout going to be when we no longer technically do pay per views?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an issue. Definitely,
I
it's an
remember. I
issue.
remember Comcast was pissed off about that too.
Yeah. I think I remember that too. Dolphy said that and the writers suck this gen. Yeah, probably they do suck, but at the end of the day, Robert Downey's not going to do Iron Man forever. Chris Evans was not going to do Captain America forever. And I just think that the heights that it got to, just whatever they did after that was never going to reach those heights.
Agreed.
It just never was going to reach those heights. So the way I would look at it, what I would done after Infinity War, I would have just stopped for a while.
You mean Endgame? You mean Endgame?
Endgame, I apologize. After Endgame, I would have just stopped cold turkey. I would have done something. I would have done something new.
When you say it's not something new, you mean not superhero movies?
I probably would have gone more the animation route. I know they have. I know they have a whole bunch of animation movies, but I feel, and I don't know if you would agree with me or not. I feel like Disney's animated movies are a lot better than the Marvel ones. Or
Yeah,
they,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I know DC. I feel like DC does a lot more of them.
yeah. DC does a far better job
Yeah,
with their animated. Yeah,
and like but Disney, because they own the property, because they own the license, they decided to do a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously they did the Winter Soldier thing. They did Loki. They did a show on Loki. They did the show called What If and all the other stuff. It just became overkill.
yeah. It was overwhelming to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And even if you had, and even if you were interested in watching all of those movies, like you didn't have the time to watch them all. Like
Yeah.
it was just too much to consume. And when now something else comes out, it's like, oh my gosh, I had to catch up with this and this. Like it was just too much, for a lot of people. It just shit, turned them off.
Yeah. Ruben said that Archie made an argument that Sonic is a comic hero.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I kind of asked Huey, he considers Sonic and Mario superhero movies. I mean superhero characters in the movie.
I would say no. I would say no.
You don't count them as superheroes.
No.
That's interesting.
Because I look at the origin of at least either the origin or what made them popular. And what made Mario and Sonic popular is the video games. So that's why I look at it. That's why I look at it that's why I look at them as video game characters.
Well, even if you're a video game character, you could still be considered a superhero.
I get you, but I don't look at Thor. Like for example, I don't look at Thor and Kratos the same. Even though technically they do the same thing, at least in this God of War, the last two God of Wars. They're in the same universe, but I look at Thor as a superhero. That's where he was introduced to me. That's where he was introduced to me as a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Kratos as a video game character, but he was introduced to me as a video game character.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I get it, and yeah, and you're right, Ruben. He was in the comics, and obviously he's been all over the place. Sonic's been in the comics and movies. You see him in cartoons. You see him in video games. So he's all over the place, which is why I had asked the question: if it really is superhero fatigue, how is it that people were always excited with the Sonic movies and with the Mario movie that did so well, but all these other movies are doing so poorly? But if you think that they're different, I get you. But I think I see why people consider them as superhero movies. Like they're not just regular average just characters. Like they're I mean heroes. Pretty much at the end of the day. But all right, I'm done.
Yeah. All right. So last topic before I have to go to work is the Microsoft FTC situation. Now, for those of you who don't know, Microsoft and the FTC, they were in a battle regarding whether or not Microsoft was going to continue with their acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Right now, obviously, during that time, we heard a lot of stuff going on between not only Microsoft but also with Sony, and because I guess Sony I don't know why they were there technically, but I guess FTC used them as a witness, and there's just a bunch of stuff that went on regarding why Microsoft decided to buy Activision, why they bought Bethesda, and all this other stuff, right? And pretty much what it was is just both companies just trying to make the other side look bad. You know what I mean? And the FTC obviously was on the side of Sony because at the end of the day, I wouldn't say necessarily at the side of Sony, but their job is to pretty much to regulate these major corporations from eating each other up. Like they don't want to have a monopoly, which is what Microsoft is clearly trying to do. I don't care what they say. They're clearly trying to do that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they lost the process. The FTC lost. And after that, there's a bunch of stuff that happened after that. So first thing first, they did lose. They filed for an appeal. That got struck down. Then the CMA, which is the other governing body, they're located in the UK. They decided, to pretty much back down a little bit, right? They decided, you know what, let's come up with a deal or whatever, and see what happened. Now during that, Phil Spencer announced a couple of days ago that Sony had agreed to a 10-year deal to keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation. So So pretty much now every company has a 10-year deal. Um, Now every company has a 10-year deal with Microsoft to keep Call of Duty on their platform. Now it doesn't mean that all the other Activision games are going to be on PlayStation because I don't think they will. But at least the Call of Duty will be. So you have
Yeah,
all
yeah. It says it right here. Oh, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
so you have all this stuff happening in a span of like a week. So right now, Microsoft could finish the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, but however, apparently, there's a snag in that. I don't know if it's a big deal or not, but they said that it might take like another month or two for the deal to finally be finalized. But right now, there's nothing stopping Microsoft from buying Activision. There's nothing that's stopping them. So
Yeah. So I'll just read just a little bit of it right here.
hmm.
Um, so Microsoft acquisition of Activision has been described as the largest in tech history. It deserves scrutiny. That scrutiny has paid off. Microsoft has committed in writing, in public, and in court to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years on parity with Xbox. It made an agreement with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty to Switch, and it entered several agreements for the first time bringing Activision's content to several cloud gaming services. This court responsibility in this case is narrow. It is to decide if, notwithstanding these current circumstances, the merger should be halted, perhaps even terminated, pending resolutions of FTC administrative action. For the reason explained, the court finds the FTC has not shown a likelihood it would prevail on its claim this particular vertical merger in this specific industry may subsequently lessen competition, substantially lessen competition. To the contrary, the record evidence points to more consumer access to Call of Duty and other Activision content. The motion for a preliminary injunction is therefore denied.
Pretty
Let me
much
see.
what they're saying is that the FTC did not prove that Microsoft was going to lessen the was going to not have Call of Duty on everything. Like they pretty much said that Microsoft has said in writing that they will continue to bring the game to these consoles, and that they're going to bring it to more platforms than ever before.
Which I mean, if but they're only giving it. They didn't say after the 10 years like they're going to renew that contract for another 10 years.
No, you never said that, but like you said, for 10 years, that's what they feel like it was suffice enough. That was good enough.
Yeah, Microsoft did a very good job of
Honestly,
putting that in there.
I wouldn't even go that far. I don't like based on what I can tell. They had good days, they had bad days, but ultimately, the FTC is the one that completely fucked this up. They're the one and that makes sense because they don't know anything about the industry. They really don't. Whoever their lawyers were didn't know jack shit about the industry. That's why I always thought that this was gonna go through. Because you can't prove if Microsoft is going to create a monopoly, especially when they say, "Oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that." They're not going to see through the bullshit. And the FTC, they don't fucking know. They don't know. So yeah, so I wouldn't even go as far as to say, "Oh, Microsoft did a good job." I think the FTC did a shitty job.
Hmm, that's interesting.
I don't think they did a good job. But with that said, I don't like I said before, I don't care if this deal goes through or not because I hook or crook, I'm gonna be playing Call of Duty anyway. Call either COD or any of the other Activision games I'm gonna play. I'm going to play them. It don't matter.
Right.
Where my problem lies, and this is what the FTC did not point out, is that when you have a situation where a competitor, especially one that's in third place, that is willing to just buy publishers just willy nilly, at some point it will hurt. It will hurt the competition because Sony's not going to be able. Like, I know Sony makes a lot of money. They're worth multi-billion dollar. They're a multi-billion-dollar company. I get it, but it's never been the mo of a console manufacturer to buy up third-party publishers. They'll buy up third-party deals. They'll probably buy up a game or two, but there's never been a company buying up a console manufacturer buying up uh, a third-party publisher. And Microsoft has purchased two of them in 2 years, worth what, like $80 billion between them. We all know what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the FTC could not articulate that.
Yeah, I don't understand how the FTC could not, articulate that. This is going to hurt competition in the long run. Like, I don't understand how they could not, tell that to the judge, because it says here Judge Corley has clearly sided with Microsoft, which is unfortunate, on its commitment to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation and even extend the game to Nintendo Switch. Despite the FTC challenging Microsoft cloud agreements, Judge Corley took them into consideration in her decision. The court ruling even agrees with Microsoft in theory about Nintendo Switch being part of the console market, but also accepts the FTC can reasonably claim it's not. George Corley has also agreed with the FTC that the console market does not include PCs. And this is the last thing I'm going to read, because this is I'm not reading all of this. In a statement following Judge Corley's decision, Microsoft President Brad Smith said the company was grateful to the court in San Francisco for this quick and thorough decision and hope other jurisdictions will continue working towards a timely, resolution. In my opinion, with all of this stuff that's been going on, because I know we've been talking about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've been talking about this stuff a whole lot, and like you said, we already know what Microsoft wants to do. They want to, they want freaking Game Pass to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then and I just don't understand how, even if you're not a, someone who understands, video games, if somebody tells you that, listen, somebody wants to buy up all these companies so that they could have all this stuff access to Game Pass, and that hurts the competition with everybody else who doesn't have that type of service. Like, I don't understand how you are unable to grasp that. But at the end of the day, Microsoft, all they want to do is terminate everybody else. I don't care about the contracts. I don't care about, oh well, you can have it for 10 years. At the end of the day, in the long run, which will probably be next gen, in the next gen cycle, when we have PS6 or whatever the next Nintendo and Xbox console is, the next 10 years when we have our new consoles, we are going to see that if this deal goes down, all of the Activision games are not going to be available on the PS6 or whatever the new console is. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. We're not going to suffer now this gen. Is the next gen, and the next gen after that is where we see how competition, it will be non-existent.
Now, I don't know if I told you this theory. Are you finished? I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know if I told you this theory before, but there's a theory out there that Microsoft wants they say that they want to bring their games they want to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation because, like I said, it's a money maker or whatever, and they said that it needs PlayStation to continue Call of Duty or whatever. But the theory that I'm hearing, and I don't think it's a bad theory, is that Microsoft doesn't give a shit about consoles. Because at the end of the day, they're in third place, right? They've been losing to Sony for most of the generation. Obviously, Nintendo right now with the Wii and then the Switch is doing gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying Microsoft wants to do is they want to kill off the PlayStation brand so that they can pivot away from consoles and go to PC and the mobile market because that's where the money is. But you can't do that when you have a competitor as strong as Sony.
Well, if what's stopping them from doing it now? If you just want to focus on mobile and on PC, then just don't make consoles and just make your games on PC and mobile like the way Sega does it.
Here's the thing: I don't. I think there's two things that's stopping them. One, I don't think their fan base is going to be happy about that, and I think they do care about that a little bit.
Okay.
But also, I also think that they want to that at the end of the day, they just want Game Pass to succeed because they put all their eggs in that basket. And if Game Pass don't succeed, then there's no way you can convince. To me, you can only convince the diehard fanboys this. You can't offer your game day and day on the service and then take that away and charge them $70 for it. I don't
Yeah.
think you can do that.
Yeah. Then the fans will never want to give that up anymore. You had already offered it to them.
I wouldn't fucking do that. I wouldn't do that. So if Game Pass fails, they have no future in consoles. They really don't. So they would much rather kill it off and just go to mobile and PC where it's all digital anyway. So you don't have to worry about consoles or nothing like that. It's all digital. But they can't. It's hard to do that when you have a competitor as strong as Sony, and they don't want your service on there. I guarantee you, Microsoft went to Sony and asked them if they want to put Game Pass on PlayStation. I guarantee you that happened in PlayStation, and Sony said no.
Yeah.
So they're banking everything on Game Pass, and if that fails, then at the very least, then they're done with consoles. And some people may say they're going to be done with consoles anyway, but they're like people saying that they would never leave consoles. Absolutely, they would. Absolutely, they would. But they need to kill that market first before they leave.
So you think they want to be done with consoles all because they're constantly being in last place each gen? Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. They pretty much they said pretty much that um they said pretty much that we didn't buy Bethesda or Activision to beat Sony. And I'm like, what? That don't make any sense. You're in a heated competition with them.
Yeah, you a direct competition with Sony. The two of you have consoles and you make games for those consoles. Of course you're trying to beat Sony. Like get the hell out of here with that BS.
Yeah, but the thing is that they are very much interested in PC and mobile. That's where their bread and butter is at. At least that's where they want their bread and butter to be at. And Game Pass is in their mind, Game Pass is the easiest way to get there.
Uh, this man, like I said before, I don't want this deal to go through. We already seen how games get compromised when you don't have competition anymore. Developers or the publishers or the people in suits. Everyone just starts to get lazy. The games don't get any good. The games come out incomplete. We've already seen this already, especially with our sports games. We already seen this.
And going back to the whole Disney thing, the reason why it's the same thing in this case. Look at what Microsoft had. Look at the first game that Microsoft bought. The first game that was released from Bethesda since they bought them was Redfall, and that game sucks. Looks
Garbage.
bad, yeah, looks bad, and all the other stuff, right? I mean, They have all these students, and trust me, they're not the end of it. People say, "Oh, if they buy Take Two, then that would be too far." Oh, what the fuck? They spent $70 billion, $80 billion on acquisitions of two major publishers.
Yeah.
How is that not too far already? But they are going to continue to buy studios and publishers, right? But who's going to have to manage all of that? There's no way one person can manage all those studios, all those teams. There's no way one guy can do it. And hell, there's no way. I don't think there's no way 3 or 4 guys can do it. When you have all these entities that you have to look out for, like, you're not going to be able to manage all of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to manage all of it. So I don't know, man. And but maybe with Game Pass it makes it easier. And to me, if you make games easier for developers to make, in my opinion, you're giving them the safety blanket of them making games that are incomplete. Because today it was announced that the next Forza game, is going to release without drag or or drift events. And again, it's not a big thing. It's not a major thing, but why would a game that's been years in development not have two essential things in there? Why would it not have that?
Well, you think it's not a big deal for removing it?
No, it's not that. No, yeah, for me, it's not that big of a deal. But why would those things be removed? They've been in every other Forza game. Why is it removed now?
Yeah.
And again, the same thing with Halo. Halo had a whole bunch of features in it before, but then with this one, there were some features that were cut out. You gotta ask why. You gotta ask why. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll
see what happens. But I think your theory is spot on. I actually like that theory. But like I also said before, this is also going to mean that Microsoft will have full control of the gaming industry. They're gonna have full control of of all the games. They're gonna tell us what to do, and at the end of the day, we just gonna have to follow along, because if they end up having this deal and it does terminate Sony. Oh my goodness, bro! I am going to, if that happens, I'm telling you right now, the fact of us getting great quality games is going to be over. It's going to be over.
And Sony said in the deposition that they were not worried, that we'll be fine. We'll be fine. But I mean, are you sure? Because at the end of the day, this is not it for Microsoft. They're not going to stop buying publishers, and in turn, they're gonna want to buy publishers also. And I don't want that. I don't want that either. I don't want Sony buying publishers. Like that deal that they made to buy Bungie. I don't give a shit about Bungie. Why would I care about buying? Why would I care that you bought them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but it is what it is, man. Let me read some comments and then we can get out of here because I do have to go to work. Brendan Katz. This is the first time I've seen this name here on the show. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, what's up, Brendan Katz? I think this is the first time we've seen you, so big shout out to you. Appreciate you watching our live stream, man. So big shout out to you. Thank you.
He said that ESPN business model is falling apart. ESPN can't buy every podcast that is successful like they did with McAfee.
Well, the thing is though, I don't think that they can. However, I think they have already missed the knockout punch, because McAfee they've done he's a very popular content creator. Like he's very popular. If now you're gonna think this is silly movie, but what I think ESPN should have done if they had anticipated that, for example, he brings up Draymond Green on here, or
Mm.
if and everybody else, we've seen him on TV before. Like, do you think what ESPN probably should do is just probably buy out as much people as possible, like Draymond Green's podcast, and Shaq's podcast, and etc. etc. or no?
I wouldn't want them to do that. No, no, absolutely not.
No, okay.
No, I mean, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't want them to do that.
No, okay. All right. Well, yeah, yeah. I figured since those podcasts are getting popular, because to my surprise, a lot of people watches the big what's it called, the Big Shaq podcast, whatever it's called.
Shaq, I think isn't no, not Shaq Thing for. Yeah, I forgot what it's called. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, yeah, and Draymond Green, he what I noticed about Draymond Green is that a lot of his podcast is not really basketball analysis. Like, he doesn't really talk about play by play on the games and show highlight. He really talks about a lot of the drama and controversial stuff, that goes behind the scenes, or he'll just talk about somebody else that's in sports media. Is what I noticed with Draymond Green. And it's good. Like, it's good content. People actually like it. People like drama, and so his podcast is doing well, especially for the fact that he just started and already he has all thousands and thousands of people watching him. Like, yeah, shout out to him. He's doing a very good job.
Okay. Ruben said that big money eats small nuts. Go Microsoft. There will be. Brandon said that there will always be new companies creating games. There's plenty of competition. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because here's the thing. Yeah, yeah, there'll always be companies that create games, but when you have a consolidation of the industry, you're only gonna like who you have to go to make the game. You're gonna have to go to that big company. And you have no idea what they want you to do with their game, with your game, and they have all the leverage. They're gonna have all the leverage because like I said, you can go to Nintendo if you want, but obviously we all know Nintendo's very stringent on what game they put on their platform.
Mm-hmm.
And really, what do you have? You have Microsoft. Let's say if they do consolidate the industry, you have Microsoft, and that's it. And they have all the power and pull that they have, and they can pretty much decide what happens to your game. They can absolutely decide what they can do with your game, and that's not to me, that's not competition.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on. I'm gonna have to agree with you. Yeah, to a degree on that. I don't think it's I don't think we're going to have much competition if Microsoft succeeds, because if Microsoft succeeds, obviously we're not going to have, like, if Sony no longer exists, for example, all we're going to have is Nintendo and PC and mobile games. That's it. And like how you always said, Hoovy, you don't really care about mobile games, and in fact, I've been seeing. Okay, let me give you one quick example. For example, one quick example. Look at Invincible, for example. Invincible, right? The guy, um, the anime that's on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're making a game based on that anime,
I just saw it.
but guess what?
Hmm.
It's only on mobile. You think I'm excited for that?
No,
You think I'm excited? Oh, when all these great new names, these big names that comes out, but yet they're going to be on mobile. You think I'm excited for that? No, I want these things on console.
yeah, but it's a lot cheaper to make games on cell phone.
And I guarantee you, it's going to be these games where it's for free, and then you
Mm.
have to constantly pay and pay and pay and pay. I don't want that either, and I don't want the gaming industry to make that a standard where all of our games are going to be that way. That's not what I want. That's not what I want. So once again, this is going to shift the competition, Brandon, and it's not going to be good overall for a lot of gamers like me and like who won 86. Well, so continue.
All right, so he answered your question. Said no. ESPN should be financing the development of new podcasts.
Wait,
ESPN.
you said no on what?
You asked a question about should ESPN buy up popular podcasts all
Oh,
over,
okay.
and ESPN is buying successful podcasts rather than financing a new one from the ground up. It's a losing business model.
You agree with
Um,
that?
it's hard. It's hard to say. Um, I don't know if I don't know if it's a losing proposition, but it definitely is. But it definitely is something that could backfire if it fails. Because you have to pay these guys a lot of money. Because like I said, they spent a lot of money to get Pat McAfee on there.
Yeah.
And just imagine, Shaq gonna want a bag, Draymond's gonna want a bag. I think Draymond's part of I think he's part of Colin Cowherd's podcast network.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, but even still, if you buy Draymond's podcast, yeah, you're gonna have to give him a lot of money. And now you're back to square one. Instead of paying ESPN personality, now you got all these podcast people you're paying.
Yeah.
Okay, so you also continue. There aren't significant barriers to entry in the video game development industry. New companies can form. Bungie didn't exist in the 1990s. Agreed. But what helped Bungie finance their studio is by partnering up with a publisher. First was Apple, and then it was Microsoft. And then when they broke away from Microsoft, they went to Activision. And after they made the money, they went independent. No, actually, yeah, they went independent, and now Sony owns a part of that studio. And what I'm saying is that if you have consolidation in the industry, your choices for finances are a lot lowered. So now instead of having Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, now you only have technically you only have Microsoft.
Yeah, and Brandon, I'm going to assume that you are a gamer also, and if so, regardless of what fan that you are, you don't as someone who likes to play games, you don't want what happened with Sega to happen to Sony either. You know what I'm saying? I think when what happened, with Sega was very, very unfortunate. Like you wouldn't want that to happen, with Sony, also. You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't want that. So I think with all this stuff of you saying, well, new developers and new studios, could develop, but at the same time, all these developers and studios, they could lose their companies too. Lot of companies could still get lost or go out of business or file for bankruptcy or what have you, with the addition of with new companies or new studios being developed. Like we could still lose companies also as new companies are coming in. So at the end of the day, you could say it's a give and take, but a huge negative impact can happen if this deal actually goes down.
Yeah, you said that the mobile gaming market is big and will get bigger. That's true. Snapple facts on mobile gaming. He said, and Brandon said that ESPN can't buy every successful podcast, and ESPN's own programming is trash. First Take sucks now. It's been garbage since Skip left. Their show lineup is garbage.
I told you First Take was not good, movie.
I never
but
said
but
that.
but the reason why I hated it is I think the show got worse once Max left. I think it got worse once Max left, and obviously Molly's still there. I think she's very annoying, and every time when they talk, they're constantly talking about race all the time. They're always talking about race, and when Kendrick Perkins brought up the whole thing with Joker, like I'm just like, man, this show is a complete joke.
Okay. Let me see. There will always be new publishers. Sega failing, Failing didn't hurt the video game industry. One company fails, another one rises. That's capitalism. Atari failed, Sega failed, new companies were formed. Let me address that.
Okay.
He is right to an extent. However, here's the thing. Like I mentioned, like if you have one major company controlling the industry, then the publisher is just gonna bend the knee at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, if you only have one console to make games for, it just lowers your choices. It just lowers your choices. So yeah, you're right. Like a publisher can rise out of nowhere, but if there's only one console manufacturer, even if there is consoles, then they have to go to one party. In this scenario that I'm talking. Um,
And let me also add to that.
hmm,
Yes, you're right that Atari had failed, Sega had failed, and we had a lot of different companies that made consoles like over the years, like in the past, like around Nintendo, and even there were consoles even made before that. And and look, I understand I understand what you're trying to say, but at the end of the day, though, we still had plenty of competition already. You know what I'm saying? Like we still had Sega at the time. We had, Nintendo. We had Sony. Like we had multiple people we had multiple companies, competing with one another. In this particular case, though, we were probably only going to have one. And if you're only going to have one, that hurts the industry as a whole, and that hurts us, the gamers, because now we don't have options anymore. I mean, we barely have options now. We barely have any options now like we used to. So it's going to hurt us at the end of the day, and that also means by only having one option, who cares if the games is in good quality or not, or if they're in 60 frames per second or not? Like it's not going to matter anymore, because that's the only option that we're going to have. So yes, Atari and Sega both failed, but we still had competition anyway with Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Go ahead, Ruby.
Stephen A is a strong personality. They need a personality as strong as him to counter him. He said that ESPN promotes a left wing agenda that alienates half the country.
What I told you, Heaven. That's what I told you a long time ago.
All right.
That's
Well,
that's the problem with ESPN and First Take and whatever.
I I think. Well, the thing is that the reason why you stopped watching?
Well, are you talking about me personally, or like or in general?
In general,
Yeah,
people can say that all they want, but at the end of the day, if you want to watch basketball games, football games, you want to watch live sports, it's right there.
yeah. But those are sports. We're talking about talk
I,
shows, though.
I don't give a shit about talk shows. Whatever, it is what it is. No, but like they promote a left leaning. What you want them to do? Like be neutral? There's no way you can be neutral in this day and age. There's no way.
That's not true.
No, it is true.
That is absolutely not true.
No,
Because
no.
like you said, they are your customers too. So you have if you want your business or your products to be good, you have to want both people to buy your stuff,
But you're
whether they're
not.
in the left or the right.
If you give people a platform, they're not going to go one way or the other. They tried that and it failed miserably.
Who?
Like on ESPN, they tried this. They tried this. They tried to call. They tried to lower the voices of people like Jamel Hill, Michael Smith, Dan Lebertard, Will Kane. It didn't fucking work. At the end of the day, all it is a sports network. But they can't help it if real life stuff appears and athletes are going to spout their opinions. They just are. And you can say that it's a left leaning agenda all you want, but the fact that they have right wing people in their network, and I
Most
guarantee you,
most
most of the
of
higher. Hmm.
most of the right wing people had left. Hoovy.
Huh?
Charlie left. Will Kane left.
Okay.
Colin Cowherd left. A lot of the people who were on the right side, they left.
Okay, and there's still plenty of them there. I guarantee you, a lot of the higher ups are right leaning also. I guarantee you they are.
No, I don't know about that, but
Come on, let's see.
if the people who were in charge were right wing, we wouldn't constantly see all this left woke stuff constantly on a
Yeah,
daily
that's
basis.
not true. That's not true. That's not true. Because at the end of the day, it's about business. At the end of the day, it's about business. I guarantee you, a lot of the higher ups at Bud Light, they lean right.
I
They
don't know
lean
about
right
that.
because I'm telling you this right now. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to like taxes and stuff like that, a lot of them lean right. I guarantee you, a lot of them lean right. But when it comes to a business model, it is financially beneficial for them to 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 have their personalities spout off opinions that lean left. Because I think, and what I'm gonna say is going to infuriate you and probably gonna infuriate Brendan. Most people who go to college and study this stuff for a living lean left. They lean left. So it is what it is, bro.
How'd you figure that?
Most people who go to college lean left.
Are you sick and freaking serious, dude?
I'm being dead ass serious. I'm being dead ass serious. Look at one of the major look at one of the major people on the right side of the sports thing, Clay Travis. He's pretending to be right wing because he knows that that's gonna get him an audience. He's a phony, but yet he has people like you who support his bullshit. It is what it is.
I watched when Whitlock used to be in that show. I would watch it because of him, not because of Clay Chavez.
Okay,
Now that now that Whitlock has his own show, I watch
and
him.
he's not there anymore.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. He has his own show now called Fearless.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
dog shit.
Oh, the only reason
Oh,
why you say the only
it's
reason
other
why
dog shit because he don't talk about anything interesting on his shows.
you don't even watch the show.
No, it doesn't matter if I watch the show or not. Like
Okay, so how would you know? So how would
he
you know?
don't talk about nothing interesting, nothing relevant. All he does is spark off right wing talking points so that he can get people like you to watch it.
If
For
you
people like you who believe that ESPN is purposely left leaning,
it is.
he's the one that's going to try to capitalize off of that, which is what Fox News does, which every right wing organization does. They do that to captivate the conservatives who feel like they're alienated by quote left wing media. That's why. So the people who say, "Oh, we just want everything to be neutral," that's a lie. That's a lie. You want your views expounded upon. That's what
No,
it
no,
is.
no. I think if it's neutral, that's good. That's a good thing.
All right. So let me ask you. Let me
Which
ask
is
you a question.
why there's someone on the left and there's someone that's on the right that's on the same platform. That's a good thing.
Let me ask you.
Kind of like how you and I are.
Let me ask you a question.
You're clearly on the far left side. What's your question?
Let me ask you a question. Would you watch if ESPN was non woke, right? Would you still watch Jason Whitlock content?
Was non woke?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Why is that?
Because I think his stuff is good.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, because his stuff is good. He obviously has a lot of the things he believes in. A lot of the things that I believe in. Like such as God and things like that. So of course, yeah.
So it's okay for you to do that, to be okay with that. But if I'm a fan of Dan Lebertard, that's not okay, and it shouldn't be on ESPN.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say it shouldn't be on ESPN. I didn't say it shouldn't be on ESPN. All I said is that it's good to have neutral or at least have both and balance it out.
And look, at one point they were both on the same network. They were both on the same network, along with Colin Cowherd. They were all on the same network.
But guess what? They're all left.
Yeah,
Well,
they all.
Yeah, all of them left, and most of them were all right wingers.
No, But the thing is that Jamel Hill left, Michael Smith left, Dan Lebertar left. All the predominant left wingers on that network also left. And the thing is that at the end of the day, people who do that business when it comes to television and stuff like that, they lean left.
But I thought
Journalists. Oh, go ahead.
The main reason why Jamel Hill and Michael Smith had left, that was they were being extremely political prematurely. Like the network wasn't that political back then, at least not yet at the time.
Yeah,
they were doing it prematurely.
A lot of shit happened, and Jamel Hill said it perfectly. ESPN, they wanted black faces, not black voices. Because when the George Floyd thing happened, they had no problem going to them for their opinion. They had no problem with that.
They had no problem going to Jamel Hill for their opinion?
Yeah. Going to Jamel Hill and Bomani Jones and giving all these people a platform. They had no problem when all that stuff was going on.
Mm-hmm.
With Black Lives Matter and all the other stuff.
Okay.
But now when it comes to everything else, now all of a sudden they have a problem. Now they want to listen to all the right wingers. Now they want to listen to all the complainers. Either you're for their content or you're not. Either you support them or you don't. Either you support them or you don't. At the end of the day, because you can't give them the platform to be like, okay, talk about these issues, and then you have other issues that come up, and yet they get punished for talking about those issues.
But I don't see how does that relate to the right side though.
Yeah, look, you look at a guy like Will Kane. He was fine. He had where's he at now? Fox News. He has so many of these other right wing networks that will pay him more. He's fine. Same thing with when Sage Steele leaves. She'll have either Whitlock show. She'll have probably Clay Travis, whoever. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that the one constant is that at the end of the day, a lot of those jobs lean left. This is the nature of the business because a lot of people on the left go to college, they get an education, and the people who lean right don't do that as often. It is what it is.
So people who are right wingers don't go to college.
Nope. Not as much as left.
That is ridiculous. Well, all right, go. Let's continue on with the comments.
Okay. He said that there will always be more than one console. The industry is big enough that new companies will into the space. Have you seen what new company had entered the space since 2000? After Sega died, who else has come out?
That's what I was about to ask. Like and mind you, Brandon, me and Hubi has said this many times in this podcast and in the on chats. We both think that the Sega Dreamcast was a phenomenal console with great games. The games were fine. The games were fantastic. But even with that, what other new console came out after Sega? Nothing.
And he also mentioned that Sony and Microsoft weren't in the video game business in the early to mid 90s. You're right about that. But the problem is that the environment is a lot different now than it was back then. It's a lot different now. Because here's the thing. Like you said, the only two consoles I can think of that's attempted to try in the last, I want to say like 20 years is Atari with the Ouya. Did Atari make the Ouya? No. They made something else.
Yeah, it wasn't the Ouya.
Who would the Ouya? I think it was Kickstarted. That didn't work. And Google tried.
Yeah, Stadia.
And that didn't work either. And I know Apple tried in the console space. It didn't work. Now again, what you're saying is not impossible, but it's not likely. It's hard. Maybe if Microsoft consolidate the industry, maybe Apple might jump in, but at that point in time, it's not going to be easy, especially if Microsoft has leverage over all these publishers and even by some of these publishers, it's not going to be easy. Let me see. If Microsoft games are too expensive or not high quality, then new companies will form that will offer cheaper and better product. Understood, but if they don't have the backing, like when it comes to these things, you need to have the game to back it up. And if you don't have the game to back it up, then it's not going to succeed. It's not going to work. You said that you can be neutral. Colin Cowherd is a good example. He doesn't promote an agenda on either side. I can agree with that. But if you have everyone just be neutral, then your product going to be boring as fuck. You're going to be boring as fuck. Like, as much as I'm not a fan of Colin Cowherd, like you need multiple personalities at your network. It can't just be all one type of personality. It can't be.
And I wanted to say something, real quick. When you mentioned when he mentioned the Sony and Microsoft weren't in the video game business in the early to mid 90s. Then the PS1 came out in 1995, 1994.
No, 93 actually. But I get what he's saying, because at the beginning of the 90s they weren't part of it. Now I don't know. I know Microsoft was doing stuff with PC, and part of the reason why they entered the console market was because they couldn't control the PC gaming market.
The PS1 came out in 1993.
Yeah, in Japan.
Okay. So
I don't remember what year it came out here. I think it came out in 95. I think.
Yeah, I think. But
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But at the end of the day, though, like we said, you mentioned the Ouya, we mentioned the Stadia. Companies tried to make new consoles, but it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked. I don't necessarily think, and I guarantee you, this is not going to happen. But just to prove a point, if Sega tries to make a new console again, it's not going to work for them either. And we could all easily say that Sega's a much bigger brand than the Ouya or Stadia, because those are just brand new consoles that's trying to make a name for themselves.
And here's the thing: the reason why it's going to be harder for them now, because they don't own one of the principal one of the staples of the Sega of the at least for the Dreamcast was the 2K games. They don't own those games no more.
Oh, that's right. They don't own 2K anymore.
No. One of the biggest staples, the reason why one of the reasons why EA didn't want to work with them was because they made these sports games that they don't own them anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all right, so he said that Jamel Hill and Le Batard were horrible. Their shows were at 0. That's why ESPN let them go. That's not why they let them go. Absolutely not why they let them go. Like, you don't have to like their show, but don't lie about why they got let go.
I didn't care. I didn't care about neither one of their shows. The Jamel Hill show with Smith, when they had Numbers Never Lie, I thought that show was fine. Then they went to Him and Hers, I think, or something like that. Dan Le Batard, when it was him, and I think it was his dad, like that was in the middle. I didn't care about that show. I didn't feel any. I don't know. I just was not interested, in that show. But you saying because they were bad, that's not why they left?
Were you talking about me?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there's no way that like Le Batard left on his own accord. Like, he didn't get fired. He let the contract run out. The issue isn't people giving opinions; it's shoving an agenda down people's throats. I mean, how are you going to do that without giving out an opinion? For some people, it feels like, because the opinion is like people say that because they don't like the opinion that they're hearing. Because like Brendan, he seems like he's a conservative. I guarantee you, if Jason Whitlock was shoving an opinion down your throat, you wouldn't have a problem with it because it doesn't offend you. And he said that there's no way there's any open Trump supporters on ESPN. I guarantee you, Sage Steele is a supporter of Donald Trump. I guarantee you she is. And I'm sure, there's other people there at the network that supports him also. See, this is the type of narrative that I don't like. When you're just saying things just to say things because you have a perceived notion of what ESPN is.
Well, I don't know if Sage Steele is a Trump supporter. She never said it. At least I never heard her say it. And in fact, I haven't really heard that many people. I haven't heard anyone on ESPN ever came out and supported Trump anyway. I haven't heard anybody.
But the people who were there before, now I can't speak for Cowherd, but Will Kane definitely is a supporter. Will Kane was. Who else was there? I'm sure there was one blonde who was there. I forgot her name, but I know she was. I guarantee you she was a supporter. Like I'm just like I'm telling you, it's like I'm telling you, there's a lot more right wing influence in sports media than you want to believe. And even if it is true that it's mainly left leaning, which I'm sure it is, you have your right wing talking heads out there. You have your Whitlock, you have your Clay Travis, even though he's pretending. You have all these people there. Like, Nolan said that he's a fan of Libertard. And then Brendan continues that I disagree with Cowherd leaning right. He doesn't promote political views. I know. 100%
I agree.
No, I know he's right leaning, but I think I heard that he's fiscally conservative. I don't know how he is when it comes to cultural issues, but he definitely is right. He does lean right, but he just doesn't. I don't think he's like outwardly about political views.
There you go.
So yeah, which is fine. Like, which is fine too. I don't have a problem with that. You're confusing people who say they are on the left with people who are on the left. Hold on. Let me read that again. You're confusing people who say they are the left with people who are on the left. There are a lot of people who don't like their left wing agenda, but they want to keep their job.
I agree with that.
I mean,
I agree with that.
Maybe not.
I agree with that because you have people complain saying that, oh, I was forced to say this, or I wasn't allowed to say that, like how Charlie used to say, and what was that?
Oh, that's me.
No, yeah. So you have people who had left the network that complained over that the bosses didn't want them to speak about certain issues.
Yeah, and that goes for that, and that went for not only for them but also for Jamel, Dan, and Michael Smith. Because what they wanted to, because they had all these people bitching and complaining about the woke agenda, whatever. They were like, okay, no one can talk about politics on the show. Nobody.
Yeah, but that's on both sides though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't exclusively on the left or on Jamel or anything like that.
No,
it was on both sides.
It probably was on both sides. So that's part of the reason why Shay Steele got suspended. We talked about that. I think we did.
Yeah.
Like, he said that most college campuses don't tolerate conservative views. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Brandon. You're absolutely right.
You are confusing giving opinion with shoving an agenda down someone's throat. ESPN shoved their opinions down people's throat, and I said, like I said, is it them shoving it down their throat, or is it an opinion that you simply don't like? Let me see, a couple more, then I do have to go. I have to go to work. ESPN was much more appealing in the 90s when they weren't political. They didn't promote politics on either side.
And I know you have to go. And real quick, this was one of the things that I was trying to tell Hoovy 186 a lot of times, where this is why people would either stop watching the shows or people would stop watching games because everything was constantly being politicized, and it was always on the left side.
You know what's funny? He just reminded me. ESPN, the NFL countdown. You know who they hired in the mid it was during the Donovan McNabb, so late 90s, early 2000s. You know who they hired to be part of their countdown show?
hold on. You said Donovan McNabb. What does he have anything to do with it?
No, I'll tell you in a second. But you know who they brought in to do the countdown shows?
Mm-mm.
Rush Limbaugh.
Okay.
You know who Rush Limbaugh is?
I heard of him, but I'm trying to remember clearly who he is.
He is
I'm
the
trying to hang on.
voice.
Hold on.
Hmm?
Oh, go ahead.
He was the predominant voice in right-wing media, right-wing radio media. The predominant voice. The reason I would say that he's the Howard Stern of conservative media.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know Howard Stern is. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rush Limbaugh was that for right wingers all across the country. They brought him in to do shows over there at that network.
Yeah,
When it wasn't so political back in the day, even though he used that platform to trash Bill Clinton. Well, but the 90s was so non-political back in the day. And then years later, obviously he got fired because he said something racist. So he got fired then. And
he got fired anyway.
Yeah, he got fired because he said something racist to Donovan McNabb. But then years later, who did they hire as one of the commentators? Dennis Miller, who is right-leaning comedian, and one of the very few right-wing comedians who's actually funny. So yeah, and you said that that's not true. Hill and Michael were essentially fired because their shows was canceled. All right, so if a show is canceled, doesn't mean that it sucks. Just because the show is canceled didn't mean that it sucked. And like I said, you don't have to like the show, but to say they left because the show sucked, that's not true, bro. It's just not. Most of the top faces of ESPN all lean left. Like you said that, yeah, but they probably do. But the people who signed their checks probably lean right. And you said that many fans are conservative. Most of the NFL fans are conservative. That could be true, maybe. That could be true. Mobile is the new console for games with smartphones. Computer games are more competitive. PCs are.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think. Yeah, I think a lot of the these mobile games. Yes, I understand that they have tournaments for a lot of these games, but you could tell the difference between playing a mobile game and playing an actual console. I mean, a video game for a console. Like, I don't view them as as the same thing, in my opinion. But yeah, go ahead.
No, they're not. In fact, I would say that consoles are more like PCs now. But they're not consoles. You're lying. Jamel Hill's show was a total failure. Levitar's show failed too. Michael Smith and Jamel Hill's show failed. Sage Q has never said she supported Trump, but she's right-leaning, so I guarantee you that she supports Trump. I guarantee you she does. So, and to address the stuff that you said here, Dan Levitar's show was on for what, like 8-9 years? You know how many shows get 8-9 years on a network? Not that many.
First Take, PTI.
Yeah, and you would consider those shows to be successful, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, again, the Jamel Hill and the Michael Smith ESPN thing didn't work, but that doesn't mean the show was bad. You may not like the show, but it doesn't mean that was bad. Like Jacoby and Rose and Jacoby. Jalen and Jacoby. That show was awesome. It got canceled. High Noon with Bomani Smith and Pablo Torre. That show was awesome. It got canceled.
You talking about with that Hispanic guy?
No, he's Chinese.
Chinese. Wait, who?
Asian.
Yeah. Well, Asian Chinese. Yeah, whatever. You thought that show was good?
That show was awesome. But again, it got canceled. Not because the show was bad, because it got canceled. They do it all the time. But Levitar show was on there for 9 years. And that radio show was on there even longer than that. So to call it a failure after 9 years, that's disingenuous on your part. It just is, bro.
Are you there?
Yeah. I'm just reading. I'm just trying to read through some of it because I don't want to. I don't want to stay here forever.
Okay.
There was a moment. Okay, this is from Critical Drop. How you doing, bro? There's a moment Matt Kellerman got in trouble for the comments on Colin Kaepernick stance. They took his take out. I don't. You remember that? I don't remember that.
Matt got in trouble for the comments on Colin Kaepernick's stance. They took his take out. I think he is right. On that. I think he is.
Right.
And I think he's right about that.
I don't remember. Dennis Miller never expressed political beliefs. Well, clearly you don't know who he is because he's right leaning. And this is the last one. Then we gotta go. Levitard never had a major show for a long time. He had small shows at different times. Highly Questionable was on the air for like nine years.
Yeah, I didn't care about that show.
It went through format changes, but they were all the same. It was the same show, and his radio show was on there for 9 years, 10 years. Like the show was not a failure. He had a national radio show. How many people has a national radio show?
Let me address this one that he said. Brandon, you said Kellerman was boring. ESPN kept giving him chances on shows like First Take, and he kept failing. But mind you, when he was on First Take was still the number one show. First Take was still, the number one show. Yeah, he said, some things, that were stupid, like Tom Brady going down the cliff and stuff like that. But in all honesty, I think Max Kellerman, did a very phenomenal job on First Take. And when he was on that morning show, I think he also did a very good job. Unfortunately, now he was also let go with everybody else. But I don't agree that he was boring. I think he was a very good host on these shows. He said Miller was on Monday Night Football as a comedian. You are listening to what I'm saying. I said Miller was on the air. He didn't express political beliefs. Yeah, Hoovy. If he
did it through jokes, like it wasn't like I said, it's not. But he's right.
Yeah, that's still not the same though. That's still not the same.
No, it's not the same as Limbaugh. But they used him because for some reason they wanted ratings, and so they used him to garner ratings.
Yeah, but his point is, in the early '90s, it wasn't political, especially how it is now. Like there wasn't constantly talking about race and politics, this and that, and voting and all the other nonsense. Like it wasn't that. That was Brandon's point, and I agree with that. You could still hire someone who's left wing or right wing, but as long as you're not constantly being political and shoving it down people's throats, that's fine.
The landscape has changed dramatically over the last 20 years. The landscape has changed. If you have these athletes who are spouting off these opinions, then yeah, it's something that's going to get covered. It is natural. It's just stuff that's just going to get covered. And yes, a lot of it is going to be stuff that you don't agree with. So either you can deal with it or you don't. Like I said, if you want to hear what you want to hear from politics, if you don't like politics and sports being connected, then just go to Whitlock, go to Travis, go to these other people. They'll give you what you want to hear plus sports, maybe. But let me see. I don't have time. Let me see. Okay, like I said, Brendan, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree. I do have to go to work, so I do appreciate you for being here, even though we disagree vehemently. I appreciate that you're here, Ruben. Thank you for watching. Let me see. Critical Drop, thank you for watching. Let's see. Rudolphi, thank you for watching. Ruben, Nolan, thank you guys for watching. Ryan Meadows, thank you for watching. Joe, thank you for watching. Like I said, you can call me tomorrow. Whitney, thank you for watching. Torian, thank you for watching. David, thank you for watching. Let's see. Vito, thank you for watching. Like you said, get in contact with Steve about the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Joshua, thank you for watching. Malta, thank you for watching.
My goodness.
Yeah, so it was a good show today. Good show today.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Um, yeah. Brandon, I know you have. It looks like you have, four more, but Hoovy has to, go. The only thing I'll say with you, with the last comment you said, I 100% agree with you on that. You shouldn't be called. You shouldn't be called, a racist just because you support a person or a particular group. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't be called that. And I 100% agree with you on that, my friend. But with all that being said, Hoovy does have to go. I wish we could get through every single thing. But this was a very good show. I really appreciate that you all came on here. And please don't forget to give us a quick like. And if you could share this on Twitter or on Twitch or on Facebook, on IG, whatever platform
We
that
do,
you
and
use.
we do have a Discord if you want to go there.
Yeah, we also have a Discord. And so yeah, so share our platform and we will continue to make more. So once again, big shout out to you, Brandon. I really hope you could come and join with us again next week. And this is the Traditionalist 101 signing out. You have a good one.
Okay. Who 186? We are out later.